Whatto chaps, I am MagicalMike and welcome to Discworld 2, missing, presumed, question mark, or mortality bites in the US and maybe somewhere else, I don't know. I'm just briefly going to come in here into the game options and mute the dialogue just in case we get some stuff running in the background, so those demo rolls don't happen and while I'm talking. And I'm gonna read right from the manual here at the start because the writing in the game extends into here and I find it to be part of the experience as a whole. If you do want to skip right to the gameplay though, I'll put a timestamp in the description, but I'll be sprinkling manual parts throughout the game anyway, so be aware of that. So, reading directly from the manual, if I bring the scene up, here we see it's Mortality Bites here. This is the American version from replacementdocs.com. This is the second Discworld game. What do you mean? I haven't finished the first one yet. Good grief, some people. Look, give the prunes to the fishmonger, get the dragon to breathe on the mirror, throw the black monk to the crocodiles, and shoot the dragon with the other dragon. Done that? Good. Now if everyone's caught up, this is the second Discworld game. The Discworld is a magical world which goes through space on the back of a turtle, as everyone should know by now, of course, especially if you've watched my series on the first game. Death has gone missing. A hero is needed to bring him back, but there's only Rincewind, incompetent wizard and highly trained coward. You won't catch Rincewind running away because he's too fast. Unfortunately, he's all there is that stands between people and the horrible prospect of immortality, and no one wants that, do they? We've made Discworld 2 a little easier, with lots of new locations and even prettier graphics and sounds, and as Death himself says, have fun. That's the worst impression of Death you're ever going to hear, I believe. Go back to my notes. That's a seemingly good primer for the game, I reckon. For those of you familiar with the books, this game is based on Reaper Man and Moving Pictures, but I've personally not read either of those games, and I'm surprised no demos have been rolling in the background, by the way. Once again, I'm playing Discworld 2 using a DOS emulator called ScumVM. There's a PlayStation version 2, which is the one that I originally played as a kid, but the resolution of some details get lost there, sadly, so I think the old PC version is the superior one. If, by the way, you've had trouble with subtitles being extremely slow, try doing what I have done in the options here, and slamming the subtitle speed all the way to the left, which is normally the opposite of what you'd expect in a modern game. This is actually faster subtitle speed. You'd expect the right-hand side to be faster, but nope, it's the other way around here. And it has fixed all the timings of the subtitles for me, so cool. There's also a couple of file renames you might need to do if you're copying from the physical CDs, which I will put in the description as well. So Discworld 2 is once again abandonware. So in that legal grey area of ownership, all the companies involved in making these two games have since gone defunct, and the rights to them have just kind of not gone anywhere. So you can find the game online, but I can't really say any more than that. This is another point-and-click adventure game that I originally suffered through using a controller to point at stuff on the PS1, and later learned the PS1 had a mouse peripheral that was compatible, but too late, and now I have the PC version. Discworld 2 was actually the first of these two games that I played and fell in love with, because of the writing and the voices, only later picking up the first. I'd broken my leg at the time, which gave me a lot of spare time to dedicate to working out all the puzzles in these games. On replay, I think that this sequel is quite a bit easier than the first, but it does have some big leaps in logic in some places where you have to pay very careful attention to dialogue and sometimes remember things for quite a while, but we'll talk about those when we get there. Moon logic is the name of that trope. But yes, this is another one of those classic WTF do I go moon logic kind of games, and even the devs recognised it there with that little intro stuff. There's even a few places where you can totally throw objects away in this game and waste your time having to get them back, which I'll try to show since there's some unique dialogue for those, but I'll try not to waste too much time doing it. Speaking of dialogue, Monty Python's Eric Idle is back as the voice of Rincewind the Wizzard, with Rob Brydon and Kate Robbins returning too, as many other characters. This time also joined by Nigel Planer, who I know as Neil from the Young Ones TV show, and that's the whole cast this time, and the voice acting quality has improved quite a bit since the first one, so I find it quite difficult to determine who's actually talking most of the time, as in who's doing the voices. I think the voices and the characters are overall more varied than the original too, but I do miss Tony Robinson's additions from that original. So yeah, I think without further ado, we'll kick things off with a whole parody of Lethal Weapon 3's opening cutscenes. Opening cutscenes? The opening cutscenes in the game are very similar to the film Lethal Weapon 3. We'll see how similar they do get. I think it's pretty great. Oh, but first I should probably go into the game options and turn the subtitles back up, right? And let's hit new game.
I knew a farmer, and I knew him well, and he had some kind of animal, I think. Possibly it was a humorously shaped vegetable, and it showed us possibly a parsnip or a cucumber. I don't know. I can't remember the words. They were really... No, I can't remember that either. What's that word for something that's clever and short? Damn, it's like what you make helmets out of. Nah, not tin. I can't say that a phrase of mine was tinny. Ironic, maybe. Yeah, pithy, that's the word. The thong was really pithy. I don't know which song. What are you going on about songs for? Hey, what was that? Over there, in the donkey cart park. No, it was something. Let's go and see. No, it's not dangerous. It's the start of the game. They can't kill us off yet. Come on, trust me. All I'm gonna do is look. Well, this is a pretty poor job. I think I can dismantle it. Nearly a catastrophe. Don't sweat it, pal. We've got 9 minutes and 7 seconds left. You know what we could do? We could drive this thing out of here. Oh, damn. No donkey. Oh, you could pull it. Yeah, you're right. Looks like we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. Couldn't be simpler. I'm thinking we should turn the green flask. What do you think, maybe the red? Let's turn the green flask then. It's just a hunch. Remember the time in the high-energy facility when I turned the yellow flask and blew everything up? Right, so I'm turning the red flask then. What? Did I say green? Well, I meant red. Look, we can do it your way if you... Look, I'm sure, OK? You ready? Aren't you going to miss all this stuff when they stop making these games? Aren't you just going to miss it all?
That's why I'm playing this game.
There, you see? Uh-oh. Grab the cats, gangway! Take cover! Well, the animation budget's increased at least.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, of course that's a good thing. It means they haven't spent as much on plot, doesn't it? They've probably halved the number of insane object puzzles for a start. Sorry, I mean clever lateral thinking exercises, of course. Trust me, I've been through this sort of thing before.
That was a fool's guild that got blown up. Also, you'd wonder why Death didn't see that coming, and the answer to that is because Rincewind. We'll talk about that much more later on. But for now, a song.
There's a place you're always welcome, that's as nice as it can be. Everyone can get in, 'cause it's absolutely free. That's Death. No need to take a breath, just lie around all day with not a single bill to pay. Hooray, that's Death. No more sicknesses or flu. If you've lived beyond your means, you can die beyond them too. Boo-hoo. Well, the greatest and the finest have already died. Why not simply join them on the other side? That's Death. Say farewell to all your bills, rip up all your wills, and pop your final pills. Amen, that's Death. It's a tete-a-tete with fate. If you're not feeling great, then it's the best way to lose weight, mate. Nothing here to hurt you, no one's here to nag. Come die with me if your life's a drag. That's Death. For wealthy and well-bred, all of them are here, and they're all completely dead. That's Death. No more headaches, no more pain. Of the millions who died, no one came back to complain. You can't take it with you. You can't keep what you've got. So why not just lie back and simply rot? Just simply rot. It's so cool, it's hot. And that's Death.
Throwing rocks from afar. Aye, what to say about that? But there were no subtitles, so I didn't want to talk over it, of course. This is what the actual game looks like, though.
Colleagues, gentlemen, and fellow wizards.
Rob Brydon.
Here's looking at your bottom.
Up your eye.
Huh. Pull the other one. It's got strange knobbly bits on.
Happy Hogswatch Day.
Thank you. Colleagues, we are gathered here today for the final departure party of our dear, soon-to-be-departed comrade, the wizard Windle Poons.
Hooray!
Good old Windle. Don't forget to ghost right. 3, 2, 1, 0!
What?
Nothing. That's it, I hope. Right, everybody, our funeral at 2:30, then drinks and ham rolls in the main hall at 3. Hiya! What's happening? Call this service, do you? I'm dead, I am. I demand to be taken away to a better life, as per contract. Oi, things were different in my day. You died properly, not like the deaths you get nowadays.
He says he's not dead.
I am dead, but I'm still bloody ambulatory. No, you're not. You're fooling no one but yourself, you know.
Well, he looks dead.
Smells dead, of course. He always did, though. And I suppose my word doesn't count for anything around here. I can't be dead if I'm still talking, now can I? Look, old chap, it's our considered professional view that you are an extinct wizard. Your opinion doesn't count because you're dead. Oh, yeah, good point. Well, I suppose I'll just sit here then, shall I? I suppose it takes a while. So, how is death, actually? See any, white lights, tunnels, girls with harps? Oh, yes, please. I'll take 2. No? If this is heaven, I wish I'd done wicked things when I was alive. What's happening to me? Well, it seems that your body's dead, but your soul's still in residence. Well, I'm not hanging about here for the rest of my afterlife. I've had a hard life, Arch-Chancellor. I'm entitled to a bit of paradise. I've read about it. Young women and wine and whatnot. Look, your life's over. You're not supposed to moan about it. And definitely not supposed to contemplate any whatnot.
Who's responsible for this? Where's death, then? This is outrageous. You can't have a soul hanging about a deceased body like that.
Why not? It's unhygienic.
Yeah, there's food laid out. We can't have him near the nibbles. The health inspectors will be on to us.
Yes, good point. Now, compose yourself, Windle. You can't decompose here. I shall have to ask you to move along. Oh, comes to something when a man can't even drop stone dead in peace. Eternal rest, is it? Well, I'm not to take this lying down. I'm off to find myself a nice shallow grave.
Windle's a very different character in this game compared to the first. The first, he was like this unimaginably annoying guy who couldn't hear a damn thing. And he's just kind of almost normal here. Still a funny dude, though. You might hear me laughing quite a bit through this game.
There's been too much of this sort of thing lately. Rincewind? Rincewind!
Ah. I was in the cake thing.
Ah, Rincewind. There you are. Now, as you're aware, there have been some very odd goings-on in this city of late. I am referring, of course, to the sudden disappearance of death.
What? No one's dying?
Oh, they're dying, but their souls aren't being taken away. They're dead and alive at the same time, and now it's happened to poor Windle. Death's gone, and we need to summon him back. So, here you go. We need to perform the rites of Ashkent.
I suppose you have a list of mysterious ingredients that I now have to run off and collect.
What? How did you know that?
I just had a dreadful suspicion. All right, so what have we got to find?
Well, it's a rush job, so just the bare minimums will do. We need 3 equal-sized sticks of wood and 4 cc's of mouse's blood. It shouldn't take you more than a few minutes.
Bets, anyone?
What is it now?
Let's just say that, we needed more than the bare minimums. Not to say that I'm questioning your judgment.
Why would you even suggest it? Rincewind.
Planning for the future is all.
Rincewind.
Well, the rest is all just flash and style. This is a death rite after all. You know the routines. A bit of sparkle and glitter in the air, vile charnel stench erupting from the tomb, and lovely dribbly candles. that sort of thing.
None of which we'll need at all.
True.
That's right. Just the wood and the mouse's blood.
There never seems to be any way of getting a decent moment's rest around this place.
Despite that, the wizards do like to do things fancily, and the Rite of Ashkente, not Ashkent as he said there.
Act 1. The Rite Stuff.
Does only need a bare minimum of things, except this is a game and you can't just have the bare minimum of things, you've got plenty of stuff to go and collect. If you didn't catch it, by the way, the whole Windle scene is kind of a parody of the Dead Parrot sketch from Monty Python. They do like to lean into the Monty Python stuff in this game a little bit more than they did in the first. So now we have control, so where to first? How about the dining hall? We are back in the dining hall, and this is how the game looks. Quite a bit better than the first, I do say. So, firstly, if you didn't play the first one, then probably go play that or go and watch my series on it, because you'll understand a whole lot more of what's going on. First of all, how do they know that Death isn't doing his job? Well, it's because wizards can actually see Death. Rincewind is barely a wizard, and he can still see Death too, so, you know, the fact that Death didn't show up is concerning, and the Rite of Ashkente will summon Death in order to ask him what the hell's going on. Right, so that's the basics of the story set up. How do you control the game? Well, it's a point and click. Right, the little sparkly thing is my mouse. I can move my mouse. Incredible. What great value. So you can still right click on things to examine them for information, and you can even do this on exits and scene transitions to see where they go now. That's new in this game. Rincewind doesn't always see what's useful about objects that you take, which you can do by double clicking on things, or if you can't take it then you'll just interact with it in some way. And if you do so in the luggage, then you'll get further interactions with those things. And you can now, thankfully, double click on a scene exit to change scenes instantly, instead of having to walk all the way over there, which is nice. Another thing about this game is that, compared to the first, there's also a whole bunch of extra dialogue based on using items incorrectly, which is pretty cool, instead of a generic "that doesn't work" response. You might get a funny comment about something that you're trying to do, or even a "good idea, but not just yet" comment, if you're on the right track. So, this is us. Rincewind has an inventory, and he has a money pouch.
My money pouch, overflowing with a vast wealth of gold coins. Well, when I say overflowing, more of a slow trickle, really. And vast wealth is a purely subjective phrase. And when I say gold, more gold-ish than gold, I guess. Oh, all right. I have a few copper coins. Are you satisfied now?
A lot of the stuff in this game I've actually incorporated into my Twitch and YouTube membership subscription sounds, so a lot of these things you'll have heard in streams and things, and this game's a big inspiration for me. So what happens if we double click on the money pouch? What, do we get something different?
It feels just like money to me.
We do indeed. So that's an example of being able to right click and get all of this, and double click to get something completely different. Rincewind can hold a maximum of 2 items, by the way, so this blank spot is, well, a blank spot. You can never hold anything more. If I double click on Rincewind's name here, it doesn't expand or decrease the inventory. Luggage, on the other hand, is a little boy. He's not a little boy at all. He's absolutely not in any way human. He is sapient pearwood. He's a creature, question mark? Well, he's just a big block of wood that follows Rincewind around. I can click on the luggage and we already have an item in here called the Rite of Ashkente. I'll talk about that in a little bit. If I double click on the luggage, this will increase the inventory size, and I'd quite like to do that because we'll have a lot of items by the end of the game. Actually, let's ignore that for now. Let's examine some stuff.
What, shall I get inside it? No way! Nobody's ever interfered with the luggage and lived to tell about it.
Yeah, not a great idea. Double clicking on the luggage,
Let's just leave him alone.
is a good idea too. Left clicking on the luggage will open the inventory. Double clicking on Rincewind
Hey, that tickles.
will tickle him, apparently.
Oh, you handsome little sea weevil, you.
Except he's got multiple dialogue responses for doing this.
Oh, you have. Oh.
I thought he had more than
Hey,
2,
that tickles.
but There we go, right-clicking.
Rincewind. Homo sapiens sorcerus, irritabilis. In reality,
Love
I'm a
that
full
line.
foot taller, bronzed and rippling with muscles, but it's been a hard night for the artist.
Love those lines. Anyway, food.
Food. Well, I say food. It is vaguely organic and probably could be placed inside the mouth in times of emergency.
Yeah, I don't know what to really think about that, but that's food. Can we take the food?
I would try and scoop it up, but without something to put it in, I would just make a mess.
True. There's not a lot else to really examine over here. We've got the Arch-Chancellor, we've got Windle's
I
coffin.
wonder why they always make coffins so sturdy. I mean, who do they think is going to break out?
Good question, but this is the disc, so anyone or anything, actually.
Yeah, sure, so they'd let me spend the game holed up in a coffin.
Anyway, the Arch-Chancellor, he actually remembered our name this time, which is an improvement.
The Arch-Chancellor, my imperious leader, who thinks shouting is the same as intelligence. Before they made him, they broke the mould. What a sight to stir confidence. Well, possibly not confidence, but it certainly stirs something.
Anger, disdain, annoyance, perhaps. Who knows? Let's have a chat. So this is the conversation window. I can move it around if I so choose, and these are all of the little dialogue options that I have. Specifically here, we can ask about the sticks that we need, mouse blood, some glitter dust, dribbly candles, a vile stench, but this one is a sarcastic response. This is a greeting on the left. This is a thought thingy. It's basically asking Rincewind to give you some thoughts about what the current situation is here, and this is for leaving a conversation. If I right click on these, we'll get a quick description too.
For a good conversation starter. For when everything else fails, why not try a little sarcasm?
Specific items?
For asking about sticks. For asking about mouse blood. For asking about glitter dust.
And then the rest. And
For
this.
a personal reflection. For ending the conversation.
So alright, let's actually talk to the Arch-Chancellor, right?
You're sure you really want me to do this job then? I mean, there's no one you'd rather
Rather what?
lumber with all these hours and hours of pointless activity.
Well, now, let me just consider the alternatives. No. No, you're the bunny, I'm afraid.
You know, when I get older, I want a job where I just sit drinking milky tea all day too.
If you don't get me those 3 wooden sticks and that mouse's blood, I'll... Understand?
Ooh, nasty. Right you are then.
Who knows what you were suggesting there, but he is the Arch-Chancellor and he is kind of a bit of a dick, actually, in a lot of the books and various bits of media.
Are you sure there's no one else's life you'd like to ruin?
At the moment, I'm content to merely ruin the life of Assistant Wizard Rincewind. I suppose if pushed, I could try ruining the life of Gardener's Assistant Rincewind, Assistant Street Sweeper Rincewind. Actually, I feel a certain yearning to really come down like a ton of rectangular building things upon a sewerage systems blockage removal technician, Rincewind.
So, that was 3 sticks, mouse's blood, glitter, stench and candles. Right, back in a tick. Or maybe a jiffy.
Yeah, not... these two don't really get on very well. So what about these sticks then?
What was it I needed again?
3 wooden sticks, being of wood, long and thin, and stick-shaped, equal lengths preferred.
But what are they for?
They're for you to find, not stand around asking questions about.
Indeed. How the hell are we going to get mouse's blood? Look at this animation here, by the way. It's ridiculous.
4 cubic centimeters of mouse blood.
Should I collect it myself, or should I consult with a very small vampire?
Big
Suit
hint
yourself.
there, by the way. Big hint about how to collect that. Huge, in fact.
Look, about this glitter then. Where should I try looking for it?
When you have a hat as pointy as mine, my boy, these sort of questions are far, far beneath you. That's what bumbling lackeys are for. And you, I may say, look pretty bumbly. It's obvious. To find glitter, go where glitter can be found. Seek the source, my boy. Pure glitter. That's what we want. Glitter with a capital glur.
Go to the main source. Right. Any other suggestions?
Well, you could mug a passing pixie, but those little devils can give you a nasty bite.
Fair enough.
Very funny. Actually, the glitter is one of the easiest things to get in the whole game. You can get it within 2 items, in fact, and might be the first thing that we grab. How about dribbly candles, though?
These dribbly candles, then.
Yes?
Got any ideas, then?
Well, my boy, the best dribbly candles come with age. A careful process of mellowing, of oozing the wax into careful runnels over hours of devoted time. Oh, it's a highly skilled job, candle dribbling. Careful aging. Just the way we make the perfect Arch-Chancellor.
Ah, and careful dribbling, too.
Careful, Rincewind. How about this stench? Actually, the dribbly candles are one of the things that you can get wrong, so be careful with those. The stench.
Now, you're sure about me needing a stench, then?
Well, only if we want the spell done in the traditional style.
So where do I find a stench?
Follow your nose. Oh, that was rather good, though I say it myself.
I did have a cheeky snicker at that one. So what does Rincewind think?
Right, so, now it begins. The Great Quest. Ah, I can see it all now. Wandering locations, searching for obscure items, staring at objects, wondering what horrible manipulations I have to go through just to secure the most mundane pieces of junk. Can't even go to the lavatory without negotiation with 3 dwarfs and a manically depressed troll for the toilet paper. It's not even as if life has a high score table at the end. Still, could be worse, I suppose. I might have paid for the privilege.
Just poking fun at us for having bought the game. Thanks, Rincewind.
Oh, that's enough of this conversation for me.
I love how Rincewind exits conversations, by the way. He's just often so rude about it, and there's a bunch of different ways that you can do such a thing. So, that's everything here. All the help from the Arch-Chancellor was basically nothing. I can now demonstrate exit examining.
That leads to the university grounds.
And I can demonstrate just double-clicking on leaving a thing. Incredible. So good. So, I actually want to switch over to the manual very briefly, because there's something I wish to read. Already, I know we've barely started the game and there's stuff going on. My notes. There's a lot in this manual, and there's a lot of just like random scattered stuff that I want to put in the right places, so yeah. Here we go, let's have a look at the manual scene. So, I think it's the introduction, right. Yes, I know, more stuff before we really get into the game. This is a story about death. Actually, it's a story about Rincewind, but this is a story about death as a more dramatic opening. But not just any death. This is about the death whose particular sphere of operations is, well, not a sphere at all, but the Discworld, which is flat, and rides on the back of 4 giant elephants who stand on the shell of the enormous star turtle Great Atuin, which is bounded by a waterfall that cascades endlessly into space. Scientists have calculated that the chance of anything so patently absurd actually existing are millions to 1, but magicians have calculated that 1,000,000 to 1 chances crop up 9 times out of 10. Death likes to travel and meet people. On the whole, he meets quite a few people in the course of his professional capacity as the defeater of empires, the swallower of oceans, the thief of years, the ultimate reality, the harvester of mankind, the assassin against whom no lock will hold, the only friend of the poor, and the best doctor of the mortally wounded. It's hard to imagine Death giving up his current job, not least because of the tedium of writing out his job description on his CV, like I just had to go through. What, however, would be the consequences What, however, would the consequences be if Death stopped doing his job? One assumes that even the most enlightened welfare state does not provide income support for out-of-work anthropomorphic personifications, which is what Death is. Death isn't really a person, he's a kind of concept brought to, well, not life, but existence. Anyway, such matters do not bother Rincewind, Deputy Librarian at the Unseen University, the Discworld's foremost college of magic. He's widely regarded by the staff of the Unseen University as someone best forgotten, that is, unless there is something unpleasant that needs doing. Rincewind is well equipped for unpleasant tasks, possessing as he does the natural survival instincts of a true coward. He also possesses an innate gift for languages, enabling him to shout "Don't kill me" and be understood in 100 different countries. Rincewind's only companion is the luggage, a large-ish metal-bound chest supported by a large number of little legs that allow it to follow its master wherever it goes. Not mentioned here, I think it's from 2 Flower in the books, but I'm not entirely sure about all that because I've not really read many of them. Many of them being, actually, I've read 1 total. It's made of sapient pearwood, a magical timber which can cause its constructs to portray characteristics that could be mistaken for life. The luggage appears to have unlimited storage capacity. It also appears to have set a record for the most number of charges of grievous bodily harm ever made against a semi-inanimate object. There exists a special relationship between all wizards and Death, as they can not only see him, but also know the exact time of their death, which is why they were able to count down Windle's death like that in the intro. Amazingly, some part of this bleeds off into Rincewind, despite the readily apparent fact that Rincewind is not really a wizard. There are 8 levels of wizardry on the disc, and Rincewind has still failed to achieve level 1. It was the opinion of some of his tutors that he was incapable of even achieving level 0, which most normal people are born at. It's been contended that when Rincewind dies, the average occult ability of the human race will actually go up a fraction. Rincewind can see death, but does not actually... Reading is hard, guys. Rincewind can see death, but does not accurately know the time of his own death. He suspects, however, that it will be a fraction of a second after almost everything he does. Death and Rincewind have always had an interesting relationship. Death has often offered to reap Rincewind's soul as he was passing by just to save time, and Rincewind has very politely run away. There's more to be said about Rincewind and Death later on, and we'll have plenty to say, I think. Neither suspect that the machinations of fate, who we'll talk about in just a second, will soon intricately tie their destinies together and propel Rincewind on a mind-bending, life-threatening quest, curiously free of butterflies, thankfully, because L-Space was incredibly confusing in the first game. Fate is a friendly-looking man in late middle age, with greying hair brushed neatly around features that a maiden would confidently proffer a glass of small beer to, should they appear at her back door. Like Death, Fate is an anthropomorphic personification. Why can I say that so easily, but I can't say the rest? That is to say that if people stopped thinking of him as him, he could go back to being an it. Bizarre stuff, right? So back to the game. After however long, we're like 40 minutes in and we've done essentially nothing. So, let's have an explore around. We didn't examine the dining hall, so...
That leads to the dining room.
Alright, we've got the garden.
That leads to the university gardens.
And we've got the high energy facility, which was mentioned in the intro.
That leads to the high energy facility.
Let's go to the garden first, though. One difference I can immediately point out between this version and the PlayStation version is that if I walk over here, this is just part of this whole area, whereas in the PlayStation version there's a scene transition over to this area. So yeah, we got a beekeeper and some hives and some flowers.
Oh, sweet. Lovely little flowers. Just what the bees need to do their work. Call me surly, but I just don't feel like picking flowers.
Alright. Alright, Rincewind. Jeez, I'm gonna get all sorts of mixed up here. Nice animation of the bees doing their thing, going to the flowers, doing the stuff. Obviously we wanted dribbly candles, and to make candles we'll probably need beeswax at some point. Yes, spoilers, we absolutely will. And this puzzle actually is a recurring one, which is a bit of an odd thing in modern gaming. We'd probably look down on recurring puzzles, but this one, not so bad. What was he eating? Honey?
The university beekeeper. Look, let's not hang around too close. He might try to talk to us.
Well, I'm going to try and talk to him, actually. Bees?
Bees, nature's little workers. I guess we could all learn from them.
What if I take the bees?
You have to be kidding.
Good plan.
Beehives. I think worker bees are so nasty only because they do all the work and the queen gets all of the other. But you know, a bit of romance, a bit of soft lighting, maybe a little cup of nectar shared with the drones. And I think worker bees could be as nice to get on with as anybody. Or am I just talking rubbish?
I think
All
you're
right, it was
talking
only
rubbish.
a thought. I'll get back to the game then if you're so keen to always be practical. I don't know, you try to add a little bit of philosophical depth, and do you get any thanks? I think not.
Sorry, Rincewind.
Hey, leave them there hives alone. Anyway, you need the right kit before you mess with the bees.
Good to know. We actually will need to work out what the right kit is as well. So let's have a chat with the beekeeper. Hello.
Keep off of them bees there, sir.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
I said, do please keep away from the bees. They're very dangerous. You need the right equipment, see? A veil, smoke, that kind of thing.
Oh,
Remember
come on, they're
that.
not that dangerous, are they?
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. Last fellow here who tried to mess with that hive ended up stung, bewitched, and turned into the helpless love slave of the bee queen.
Really?
As the gods judge me, sir, he was off there collecting pollen day and night just for the privilege of seeing her mandibles crease up in a smile, sir. Awful. Awful the degradation he got put through, sir.
Oh, gods, it must have been horrible.
Yes, sir. The pollen made me sneeze something awful.
I think at this point I should buzz off.
Not impressed with that one.
Look, can I have some wax out of the beehive, or do I have to get tough?
Tough? What? Go in there and fight the queen herself?
No, I mean get tough with you. You know, threaten, offer violence, intimidate you through use of magic powers, that sort of thing.
There's no call for that sort of thing, sir. If you're going to take that attitude, I'm afraid I'm going to have to force you to go on a bizarre quest to find objects which will catch my interest and curry my favour.
Oh, that would be a novelty.
You've no one but yourself to blame, sir. Off you go. The days are wasting.
That's not such a stretch, is it? Everyone's going to ask for something.
So you really like bees a lot then?
Oh, yeah, they're wonderful little things, sir. Such rich and varied lives. Zooming into the hive and zooming out again, and poetry. Pure poetry in motion. No one pays them enough attention, sir, that's what I think. If only someone would give the little darlings the recognition they deserve.
Quite.
I mean, it's all ants these days, sir. Ants this and ants that, and ants can carry 100 times their own body weight. And
Yes, now, look.
I mean, it's nothing a bee can't cap, sir. Look at your basic regurgitation process, or the fascinating little dances bees perform. Point. I see a flower filled with nectar. Point. Watch out for the spider's web over in that tree. Point. The clover's coming into bloom. Where's he gone then? I was just getting into the really interesting bit.
Yeah, Rincewind just fully walks away from that conversation. In the PlayStation version, he walks off screen and it causes a loading screen too, so it's even funnier. But we weren't done with that conversation. Because we have to think what Rincewind thinks.
Bees. The eternal mystery. How do they fly? How do they communicate? And why are all the workers dumb enough to go off and toil in the fields all day, leaving the queen lounging about, guzzling nectar and having a good time? See you later.
See you later. Yeah, well, a lot of stuff to think about from the beekeeper, and a big hint as to how we'll get rid of him too, because he knows a lot about bees. Here's a knob.
There just had to be a knob at the end of the course.
Yeah,
I can't reach it. I have no desire to anyway.
well I do, Rincewind, but you know. Anyway, here's the bursar.
The bursar, a man apparently unravaged by any sense of guilt. Otherwise he'd stop mucking about and give me a little bit of help for a change.
Rincewind doesn't like a lot of his colleagues or in charge people, the university guys. But do you see what I see? I see a mallet, which looks awfully sticky. There's also hoops,
One croquet hoop. Or, if we're being foreign, we'd say hoopla.
but we're not. Can I have it?
Perhaps when they're gone will be better.
Yeah, not quite. Please put your mallet down. I'd like to examine it, Mr. Bursar. I think we're waiting for the ball to come back. There it is. Is he going to take the shot? Bursar? Hello? Sir? Alright, I'll just talk to him.
Hello there. Fine day for it.
Yeah, for it? You see, my spleen still remembers.
Remembers what?
Well, it remembers. I don't.
Good point? Question mark?
You'll never make the shot, you know.
Eh? Why, you arrogant young whipper-squatter. What's this?
Good looking course. And he made the shot.
There! What did I tell you?
I'll get that. It's probably for me.
We also can't make him do that again, interestingly.
Nice game.
What? Bloody varnish industry. That's what's behind it.
What?
It's them. They drain all the sap out of them, you see. Tree vampires, that's what I call them.
Look,
Makes the wood too light. No stiffness to it. See these croquet mallets? Not heavy enough to make a decent clout. Find me another mallet, boy, and I'll show you how we did it in the old days.
Find him another mallet. Good idea.
The simple charms of a quiet life. I could just stand here and watch it all day. The pure green grass, the gentle sun, the tedious old fools hitting balls with long sticky things. Yeah, you're right, really. Let's get out of here before we find ourselves joining in. Be seeing you then.
Can I examine his mallet this time? No. Okay, well, that's 2 sticks, I see. There's actually a third just off screen. How about the dean?
The dean. Possibly the next best thing to administrative staff a university could have without actually hiring anyone who can do sums. Hello. Shh. Sorry. Really sorry.
Oh.
I think we buggered up his shot.
So you'll all just have a nice game here then while I'll go off and work, eh? Right. Don't mind me. I'll just be over here saving the entire universe then.
I think that's a bit drastic.
Tricky shot. Very nice sticks on those croquet mallets.
Go away! We're trying to play a relaxing game.
Fine. Don't let me disturb you. I'll just be over here saving us all from certain doom. See you later.
We haven't got any of the really rude see you laters yet. And there's his librarian with... Oh, a mallet! I can
Manitus
examine it.
Puncus Retro, the whooping or punk revival croquet mallet. I say, this is a good spot for observing wildlife.
Can I just have it?
I can't just take it from him.
Well, we could, but you know, it's a librarian. Remember this guy? Who would just whack us in the head constantly throughout the whole of Discworld 1? Well, they've toned that down quite a lot this time, thankfully.
Funny, the librarian never really struck me as a croquet kind of chap. Well, that threw a monkey wrench into the works.
He said it. He said the word.
No, it's just a turn of phrase. I swear it just slipped out. I in no way intended to pass any sort of derogatory remark about your chosen form. Not here, nor ever. I personally find that having an arboreal primate as a companion has been an enriching, nay, invigorating experience. Well, that's settled him down. I do wish you'd just let it rest. I don't see it matters if people accidentally say monkey.
Actually crazy. Yeah, I think they got tired of that joke being so overused, so they just cut it from this, which I am completely okay with.
So, at least you chaps are having a good day of it. Balmy afternoon, breezes blowing, sun shining. I suppose that makes it monkey shine then. Well, he's the one who said it first. So, seen any good sticks around here at all? Oh well, I'll just go off and keep looking then. You know, the sooner I get Death up and on his feet again, the sooner I might open up some more avenues for promotion around here.
Was that him suggesting that he's gonna... Never mind.
Well, that's it for now.
Alright, over here we have a hedge maze that's not quite correct. Is that even possible? It's not even really a maze. There's two options, this and that. And there's a rooster.
A maze? Oh, please, let's not add this to our list of woes. Let's just stay out here where everything's nice and calm.
Yeah. That is the sort of thing that they would put in a game like this, but thankfully there are no mazes in these games. Oh well, apart from this one. Naturally.
I'm already lost. A rooster. It's one of the few organic life forms on campus that is almost definitely not an ex-faculty member.
But can we have the rooster? No, we can't. And now we can't even reach him. So yeah, that's that. Let's carry on a little further. The rooster will also like come back down so we can interact with him again. So great. We've got an imp, a birdhouse, and a compost heap.
So this is the university compost heap. Everyone always goes on about recycling as though it's such a thrill. It's a load of rot. I mean, think about it. You're encouraging the breeding of a vast mound of bacteria in your own home. Surely the one in your sock drawer is good enough for you.
Yikes.
No way am I touching that.
You will be at some point, Rincewind.
A birdhouse in the university? I thought the Arch-Chancellor had ordered all the local wildlife to be shot. Oh no, that was the students. Well, that's all right then. Just so long as he wasn't being cruel to animals.
Yeah, you'll actually find that there's like 3 total students and they're all in one place. And like that apprentice that was sat eating prunes in the first game, nowhere to be seen. There's a distinct lack of wizards in this game for being a wizardy game.
It's already occupied.
It is, by an imp.
An imp. Small, offensive, and more than just a little bit suspect, I think. But I must admit, his little metal boots are rather neat. Not to mention smelly.
Smelly, you say? Well, we do need a smell.
Stop it!
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I thought you were someone else.
Who?
Who? What?
Who did you think I was?
Oh, nobody in particular. Don't worry about it. Oh, eek, ah.
One hesitates to ask any further, really.
Oi, oi, oi.
Yeah, this imp seems a bit, nuts.
Oit, oit. Urgle, nurgle, oit.
So that's it, is it? That's your entire repertoire, just sitting around and saying, oit.
Is that all? Is that all? No, why? Oh, you say I'm just a smelly little imp, and so I say hooray-oh. You say that I'm a silly little gimp, and I say go away-oh. 'Cause I'm smelly over here, I'm smelly over there. I'm smelly, smelly, smelly everywhere. I fill the bathtub plug with hair, and then I sing all day-oh. Oh, you say I'm just a silly jelly blimp, and I say it's okay-oh. You say a piece of string is limp, and I say the word potato. Limp, limp, limp here, limp, limp, limp there. And potato peelings everywhere. How long's it take to skin a bear? And I say, all day, oh, oit!
Quite.
So if that isn't stuck in your head for the next week, then I don't know what will be. It certainly will be for me. Again.
Look, who are you?
Oi, oi, Stench the imp.
Stench the imp?
No, Stench, not Stench. I wouldn't make any friends if I was called Stench, now would I? I mean, I do have a stench. All part of the job, you understand. But Stench is not, in fact, my actual name.
I see. And so you, in fact, might have the worst stench in the kingdom.
Ah, second worst, I'm afraid. The worst belongs to foul old Ron. Well, that's probably what did it, actually. Drove me mad and all. The disappointment, the yearning, looking towards a goal one could never really achieve. That sort of thing.
Mad?
Oh, yes. Lip-strumming, hooting, mad, I'm afraid. Oi, oi, ew. Who's a pretty cuttlefish? Oh.
Why do people lapse into insanity when they talk to me?
You've got a sympathetic face, mister. Oh.
Yeah, so that stuff about the stench. We do need a stench, but will the second worst stench suffice? Also mention of foul old Ron, a character that people might know from the books. I don't really, but we'll meet foul old Ron, Millennium Hand and Shrimp, and he's a real weird guy. If you know, you know.
These boots are yours, then?
Hmm?
They're the home of your stench.
Aha! They are the perfect home for any stench. They are, in fact, the ideal dream home for really strong smells. I aim to go and attract some really astounding stinks to myself later on, right after a good, hard, manic fit. Hang on, hang on, hang on! Here it comes now. Oit! Oit! Oh! Oh, oh, oh. Nope. Didn't happen. Sorry.
Another couple of hints there about attracting a stink. There's two in that wordplay.
An imp with curious steel sole boots. That looks curious. Look, I hope you're writing this down. I mean, what do you want me to do? Shout hint?
No, it's alright, Rincewind. I've got that covered. I can shout hint. Well, I'm not going to shout, but you know.
Goodbye for now.
Give me the rude responses, man. Alright, so we accomplished basically nothing here apart from getting some information. So that's something, I guess. We got one more place to examine, and it's a high energy facility where we'll actually finally start getting something. I should probably save the game though at some point. LP Act 1. Alright, we got a whole bunch of stuff to examine in here. We got the accelerator.
A foam accelerator, eh? It looks like a giant drink mixer to me.
Thorm. A thorm is the basis and traditional unit of magical strength. It has been universally established as the amount of magic needed to create one small white pigeon or 3 normal-sized billiard balls. In this very room, the thorm has been successfully demonstrated to be made up of resins, which literally translates to thingies, or reality fragments. Current research indicates that each resin is itself made up of a combination of at least 5 flavors, known as up, down, sideways, sex appeal, and peppermint.
A strange amount of flavours. There's strange names for them. Anyway, interact with the accelerator.
I'm already spun out enough by this game.
It's quite a loud room, this one. We've got a number of things to piss about with. There's Ponder Stibbons.
Ponder Stibbons. Profession, research wizard. Personality, maniac. Avoid at all costs.
Well, unfortunately, we're going to have to talk to him. Actually, we don't. We could just ignore this dude, but I'm going to talk to him.
So, what have we here then?
Thorms! Billions and billions and billions of thorms!
Pardon me while I just edge closer to an appropriate escape route, will you? Please don't let me disturb your meditation on world domination. lovely. A giant drink mixing machine.
Drink mixer? You call the greatest magical breakthrough of the age a drink mixer?
Yes.
Well, all right. Maybe it is a giant centrifuge now. But one day, Pacow! Weeping Roof! We have the power. We're unencumbered by outmoded ideas, and it's quite untrue that Thormic research damages the brain. We are the young generation, and we have something to say. We'll split the Thorm and usher in an age of cheap, clean power, a new, clear future.
No, I didn't
We've been
edit that
getting
in.
nowhere fast, haven't we?
There's no truth at all that splitting Thorms causes the brain to melt. No truth at all. Every day and in every way, I'm getting better and better and better. They laughed at me and said I was mad, you know. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Have a real nice night. No, day. Ha 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 ha.
You're a loony.
Loony? Loony, eh? Well, we'll see about that. They called Mad Dog McAxeman a loony.
Well, that could be because he used to dress up like a crayfish and go running up and down the high street.
That wasn't him. It was another one.
No, it wasn't. He was the idiot who accidentally ate his own feet, for heaven's sake.
Yes. Well, people always scoff at what they don't understand.
Well, I understood he scoffed his own feet.
Aye. These three characters remind me of the Young Ones, and I don't know if that's intentional or not. I also don't know if the Young Ones was actually airing on TV at this point. Let's actually look that up. The Young Ones TV show. When did that go on? Yeah, 1982 to 1984, so these could well be a big old reference to the Young Ones.
So, what is a Thorm, actually?
A Thorm? You want to know exactly what a Thorm might be?
Good heavens, no! That's why I asked.
Oh, yes. I can tell you all about Thorms.
Well?
Aren't you going to say please?
All right. Please tell me what a Thorm is.
A Thorm is a magical particle, the quintessence of magic itself. Inside this Thorm accelerator, I can take magic and whir it up to a massively increased speed. Imagine high-powered magic, spells 1,000 times more efficient than before. With this power in my hand, I could...
Give your creature life? Be the envy of your friends? Get girls through hypnotism? Make in your spare time?
Oh, yes. Yes, all that. And more. Zoing! Come in, Starbase 9.
Look, you're a busy man, or at least humanoid.
Would you like to see a brief documentary clicky display about my work?
No, thank you.
We have a guidebook, complete with an interview of me and a series of diagrams charting my incredible progress in finding out what makes the universe tick.
No, that's all right. I know what makes me tick. I'm ticked when I accidentally put sugar on my sausages.
I'm starting to think this guy might be a reference to Vivian, but yeah, they're all over the place. The thing that really gets me thinking these guys are a reference is Skaz over here in the red, but we haven't spoken to him yet.
I don't see this as being a new age in magical energy. Still, might be a few arts grants in it. I could try gargling lager and curry, then take a ride with a piece of canvas.
Jackson Pollock, perhaps?
Excuse me, I think it's probably time for me to take my medicine.
That's one of the ruder ones. That's one of the great ones that I wanted. I'll stop clicking on the goodbyes when we've got all of them, which I think we might have at this point. Mad Drongo.
Students these days, I ask you.
Hello.
Oh, like, wow. I see like a totally new world. It's a view into possibilities that might or might not be. Cosmic uncertainty, man. Kind of like you've got an animal inside this box, only it's a cat.
The box is a cat.
Yeah, but sometimes it's like dead. Oh man, you just have to climb in this thing for yourself and go for a ride.
I I don't think I'd suggest it, but all of this stuff talking about this accelerator is sort of information that you have to piece together yourself a little bit.
Oh, lovely. So you're a research fellow, are you? Free housing, a wage and medical benefits, and this is what we get for all our outlay?
It's not such a good job. I'd leave it if it weren't for the perks.
The perks?
What have you been doing?
It's like a manifestation of cosmic energy.
Looks like a giant centrifuge to me.
Manifestation of
but
cosmic
it's like
energy.
Spiritually purified.
Spiritually
It removes
purifying.
the extraneous elements of the soul.
Really?
Remember that
So
stuff.
what did you lose?
I lost, right, all the unneeded creamed corn and diced carrots that had burdened my psyche, like, for so long. It's incredible, right? I mean, I never even knew I had them in there.
Fine. One wonders if the public knows that their valuable taxes are being spent on the creation of a giant merry-go-round. Still, there might be some sort of use come out of it. You could charge kids 10 groats a go and watch them spew candy floss all over the walls. At least it will give the ants something for lunch.
Ugh, regrets.
Thank goodness this robe is washable. You, on the other hand, appear not to be. Why don't you have another ride?
So we can just exit our conversations by clicking that. Alright, we've got a machine, we've got scars, we've got some bellows. The first item that we can pick up.
Oh, it's, one of those things where air wheezes in and out. Like a political manifesto, only not as tiring. Bellows, that's the word.
Let's have those. Alright. Also, something I don't know about the PlayStation version, everything in this version when it's in the luggage has an animation, and I'm not sure if the PlayStation also has that, or if it's a limitation. But we can also examine it when it's in the inventory for different responses.
Bellows. Strangely soothing to operate, but I don't know if they'll ever catch on. Bellows.
Okay, so you get the same response for double clicking. This, funnily enough, is the only item we need to get the glitter dust, which is one of the things we need for the Rite of Ashkente. So already quite a bit there, even though we've not done anything yet. There's a magnet here too.
I like a nice magnet, don't you? I've always found magnets strangely attractive. Attractive, get it? Attract with the magnet. Well, there's little enough fun in this job. If you can't enjoy yourself, then you might as well just go home and lie down.
Let's have that. You can also double click the luggage to just chuck it straight in there. And there we go. So, I think that's everything. We've got a machine, we've got a test tube. What is this machine?
Hey, what are those little black things roaming around inside?
Ants. Can we use the machine?
That's not going to help you.
No. There's a test tube.
A test tube. You never know. Must be useful for something.
It will be. I'm not going to interact with that yet because I want to talk to Skaz first.
Skaz. Essentially the sort of man who carefully files away family photographs as his sole means of recreation. Ah, hello there.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And you are?
Skaz, that's a name I have. Yeah, right.
Oh, lovely. Well, that's this conversation off to a good start then. What are you doing here?
Doing?
Just answer the question.
I'm, trying to get it together, I mean, what are, any of us really, actually doing from a cosmic point of view.
Yes.
What?
What are you doing in this room?
Oh, right, yeah. Well, working, on this new, magical engine for working things out. It works things out, By working them out, it crunches numbers into little bits.
Amazing! What's it called?
We, call it Hex.
Like the
Why?
code.
Well, 'cause in the working things out engine business, everything has got to have, a 3-letter name.
Is that because you can't understand longer words?
What?
Somehow, when I look at you, I feel that a 3-letter name just isn't enough.
What? I don't understand.
Really? That's astonishing. It really is.
Yes, quite.
So this is where all the grant money goes these days.
Hey, there's no point getting all, uncool and heavy. Anyway, I don't deal with the money. It's all Kevin's doing. He knows how to talk to the university council.
Kevin? Who's Kevin?
One of my research assistants. He's a, invertebrate politician.
You mean inveterate politician? I think there's a misprint in the script.
No, invertebrate. He's an ant. Currently, he lives in that test tube over there. Now go, go like away, because I can't stand around here all day. It's too difficult.
A lot of programming jokes and things on this guy. Hex is... I feel like I don't really need to explain that.
What are all these leggy little objects you have running around the place?
Oh, those? Oh, they're ants.
Ants?
Yeah, ants. They got legs, sticking out bits on their heads. You get them in sandwiches at picnics, ants. That's what they're like, that's what they're called.
I am perfectly aware of the existence of ants. What I want to know is why you have them running freely about the innards of a complex mathematical machine.
There, in fact, is the essence of my, very cunning plan. You see, when we were designing Hex, we worked out that what with it all being so new and everything, we were bound to end with, a lot of bugs in the system. And that'd mean people would be complaining the whole, time. Every time it wouldn't work properly, they'd call us and tell us there was, a bug in the machine kind of thing.
Bit of a meta commentary here, huh?
So why have you put an antil inside?
I don't get that joke.
All right, well, the cunning bit is, we thought what we'd do is put all the bugs in right at the start, so there'd be no room for them later on. Smart, eh?
Amazing. And somehow so prophetic.
Right. But we don't call them bugs anymore. We call them creatures. Then,
You mean
if a
features?
problem occurs, we can say, no, it's not a bug. It's just an undocumented creature, and the whole system relies on them now. They race about inside there, opening up little gates, closing them, opening them again, running about in little wheels, dragging bits of information from one storage bin into another. It's working really, well.
I'm not so sure about that. How do the ants feel about it?
They seem to like it. We found the machine works if you put living things in, see? We put in a mouse the other day, and it worked really fast when we put some RAM in, until they butted their way out.
Do you ever, how shall I put this, lose any ants?
It's funny you mentioned that. It was only yesterday when I lost 100 of my best. It was awful. The machine was totally debugged for a while.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're into programming, then a lot of that stuff is very, very funny to think about. I appreciate it.
Much as I'm convinced that there must be a reason behind all this rot, perhaps it's safer just to never know. Maybe I'll just rob the place of every little object that might be of use and just leave it at that. Pick up bird, open door, throw axe at dwarf. It was so much simpler in the old days.
Text-based adventures. It's a good idea though, Rincewind. Let's have this test tube.
Hey man, you've broken it now. All the ants have run away. You've debugged it.
Great. Now, Hex has no ants.
Their automatic computating machine. Apparently it's broken though. No ants inside. Not enough bugs, you could say.
Indeed. Let's get the hell out of here. And that's everything we can do at Unseen You. Thankfully, we can actually wander outside.
That leads to Ankh-Morpork.
Ankh-Morpork. Now, the city here looks very different to what we saw in the first game. In the first game you got like a top-down view of the whole circular city view. Here we just get like some of it, and a lot of areas that you could access in the first game are just not here anymore. The palace, the street, the town square, the dragon's lair, of course, because the dragon doesn't exist, because dragons don't exist, guys. Dragons don't exist. Right, don't question it. They do not. If you know, you know. The park, the broken drum / drum. I think that's about it. Like, there's just a bunch of places we can't go to, but there are different places. We've got the cemetery, the shades, we've got what sounds like a TARDIS. We've got the plaza, we've got the Fool's Guild, we've got the docks, and we've got this shop. But let's right click on everything first.
The home of the mightiest wizards on the Discworld, and of course me.
Cemetery?
A sort of rest home for the dead.
This shop?
Really? I'd swear this shop wasn't here before.
It wasn't. I'm pretty sure it was over here in the middle. The shades.
Ah, the shades. I know it well. An area where curiosity not only kills the cat, but also weighs it down with bricks and tosses it into the river.
One of my favourite lines from the first game. There's actually 3 entrances to the shades here. Look, if you carefully mouse over, and it's because the shades is quite a large area. Got the plaza.
The focal part of town, where the new clicky theatre is.
What are clickies, I hear nobody asking. Oh, some TARDIS event is happening, and it's over here now. And we've got the Fool's Guild.
Used to be one of the more jolly guilds. Now look at it, just a pile of rubble.
Also, the docks.
Where water meets land, although in this case it's hard to tell which is which.
I think the first place I'm going to go is the cemetery. No particular reason. We'll just go in there first. Spooky. First thing first, a pick.
A pick? Let's just leave it at that and not be picky.
Let's have that. That's ours now. There's tombstones and graves to examine. There's the suffragester.
What's this one say? Only sleeping? He's fooling no one but himself.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome.
Can I take a tombstone?
What? Defile somebody's place of rest? Not me.
I'm actually just going to wander off. First of all, because there's someone we'd like to see.
Ah! Ha ha! Another one! Go find your own grave, you rotten fool!
Windle?
Windle? Gad! That's my private name. Oh, you still remember, lad? Oh, great days they were, great days. Life? You don't know what life is until you're dead. It was great, all that breathing and walking around in the fresh air. Oh, I tell you, if I had my time all over again, I wouldn't reincarnate.
So, how are you adjusting then?
Oh, I'll never get used to this grave, I'll tell you. The walls are so thin. All you can do here is lie around and listen to what the neighbours say.
So, what's it like? Being dead, I mean.
Oh, I've had enough of it. The hours are too long for a start. Here, keep the wretched dead and alive hole.
Wait, what am I supposed to do with a grave?
Use it as a small swimming pool,
I can't swim.
I never said you had to fill it with water, did I? Yoicks and away!
Right. Well, it looks like I have a real mission then. I either restore Death to his rightful place, or else we'll be up to our armpits in gaunt, dark-eyed young Gothic girls dressed in black, all pretending that they can quote romantic poetry. Actually, that doesn't sound bad at all. Nah. Onward!
It doesn't sound that bad, actually, if you... Well... Sounds okay. Anyway, inside the tomb we were forced into here is a slab, a coffin, and what looks to be some object up there, but, who knows?
Oh, another coffin. You know, I think I'm really getting the hang of this object identification thing.
Gold star Rincewind. Oh, he's already got one.
I can't reach it from here. A slab, aha, mounted beneath the coffin. A sort of primitive anti-gravity system.
Quite a good one. What is this slab anyway? Why is it a giant slab with a coffin up here that we clearly can't climb up to?
There's nothing I could do would move it.
Yeah, that's all there is in here. Nothing in particular, nothing else to examine. There's some books and some candles, but nothing we can actually interact with. And Windle's now gone. Really, I just wanted to be here to have a look at Windle and say hello.
What's this one? If unattended, please ring bell. What? Default? Not me.
Okay, that's just the same dialogue as we had a minute ago. Let's chat to the suffragester.
A suffragester? Ah, now that's what I like about modern times. A woman is free to take her place, stride boldly forth, and get totally ignored just like all the rest of us.
Hello.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome.
Overcome what?
What was that, fascist?
I'm asking just what it is that you want to overcome. Who tied you up like this?
I've tied myself here, yeah, me, pig. Now try and repress me out of that.
You tied yourself up?
It's an act demonstrating freedom, see? Well, it demonstrates my freedom to tie myself to anything I want to, whenever I want to. That's one of your basic human rights, right? And I'll fight to keep a hold of it.
You mean you want to fight for the right to lose your freedom?
Right on. Don't you want to know what I'm protesting about?
I was half hoping to avoid it, but do go on.
I'm protesting for the right to have female members of the Fools and Jesters Guild. And
That's
I
kind of
will
blown up
not
at this
be
point.
moved.
Why are you protesting about it over here in the cemetery? Why don't you go and do it outside the Jesters Guild?
They never have anything worth tying yourself to over at that end of town. I like this, though. Quite a nice little steak, if you don't mind my saying so. Not an absolute prime choice, mind, but getting there.
Then by all means be my guest. Excuse me, I think it's probably time for me to take my medicine.
Not a full conversation we can have, but that line of dialogue about the prime steak isn't just a pun, it's actually something kind of useful that we need to know about. Should we go and see Windle again? Yes, let's go to the docks.
Call this death, do you? In my day, people knew how to die properly. Tunnels, white lights, booming voices, the choir invisible. Right, that is it. If a job's worth doing, then it's worth doing yourself in. Oik!
Funny how
Nice
shallow
day
the
for it.
river is.
Drop dead!
Poor Windle. It's really weird that the water's that shallow, but hey, you know, it's the River Ankh, and that's real bad stuff. If he wasn't already dead, he'd probably be dead now. Because that is... well, the River Ankh is a parody of the River Thames, and the River Thames is extremely polluted at this point. Probably was when this was written too, and it's probably worse now. So the River Ankh is just dialed up to absolute maximum. I can't actually examine Windle either. So over here we've got a hammerhead shark.
A hammer-headed shark. They're called hammerhead sharks, you know, because their head is shaped like a hammer. See? Now you can say you've used your computer for educational purposes.
Now you can say you've watched this video for educational purposes. Congratulations. Can I take it?
Oh, it's stuck inside the net.
No, we can't take any of this stuff yet.
A good assortment of fish. I wonder if they're all undead too. They're all stuck in the net.
I think there's another fish in here somewhere. Maybe not. There's a hook.
Ah, Jim lad.
Captain Hook.
If I want to do anything with a hook, I'll have to get the net off first.
True, and we do not have the tools to do so.
Either this is a net, or the moth problem around here's got out of hand. I don't think I can undo it by hand.
Oh, we've got a bird.
One seafaring fish-eating bird. I hope he's not looking for his dinner in the River Ankh. At least not without a pick and a shovel.
Yeah, it'll go badly for him.
I don't think I can reach him.
No, we need to draw that bird down somehow, but we can't yet.
Novelty stuff. Now this looks interesting. I wonder what they are, not to mention what use they could possibly be.
Novelty stuff ink. Also the wall. Take
Now
the side.
that would be novel.
We can't do that.
Very knockdownable, that wall. I should report them to the Better Homes and Gardens people.
It's a very strange observation to make that it's knockdownable, but something that we'll need in Act 2.
You know, I doubt that I can just push the wall down.
Anyway, we can't actually do anything here. Let's have a look at the shop and get introduced to some more lore.
wandering shop. No one knows why. But all the most truly mysterious and magical items are brought from shops that appear and, after a trading life even briefer than a double glazing company's, vanish like smoke. They can turn up wherever there's a suitable stretch of blank wall. But once there, they have always been there. Dust and grime and a general worn look instantly dispel any doubts in the minds of people who may have walked down that same street every day for a year without noticing it. There are 3 general theories to explain the phenomenon of wandering shops. 1. Many thousands of years ago, there evolved somewhere in the multiverse a race whose single talent was to buy cheap and sell dear. 2. They are the creation of a sympathetic fate, charged with the role of supplying exactly the right thing at the right time. 3. They are simply a very clever way of getting around the various Sunday closing acts. All these theories have 2 things in common. They explain the known facts, and they are completely and utterly wrong.
Although yet, somehow, kinda right at the same time. I think it's just a Doctor Who reference, if I'm completely honest. This is a pretty cool place if you just want a bunch of items. There's a bunch of items. We've got a flamingo.
A stuffed flamingo. Yes, well, I'm not quite sure what it's doing in an adventure shop, but if you must have a flamingo, then I suppose this is as good a place as any in which to put it.
Yeah, this is an adventure shop. It's kind of a Dungeons and Dragons type shop. As in, you would, in a D&D campaign, find a shop that just happened to have a bunch of stuff that you needed in there. It's kind of like that. It's also kind of a reference to maybe Magic the Gathering. We'll hear about that in a bit. But first, can I have the flamingo?
Just what I've always wanted. I don't suppose I can have it then.
Why not? It's yours. You only had to ask.
Crazy that we can just take stuff in here. What else have we got? An alligator?
1 alligator, badly stuffed. Well, every magical shop has to have one, I suppose.
Can I have it?
That looks nice. Can I have it then?
Certainly not. It's not for sale.
Curious. So some stuff you can just take, other stuff you can't. You really have to just ask about it all. We got some books.
Books. The perfect resting place for overfull coffee cups. I'll have to get a few more of those.
Can we have books?
That looks nice. Can I have it then?
Certainly not. It's not for sale.
It seems fairly obvious what we can and can't take, right? We can probably have this fish, we can probably take the incense, we can probably take the candles, not the jars, not the strange machine, but we'll examine all the stuff anyway, right?
A strange machine. I don't know what it does, and I'm fairly certain I'll rest better tonight for never having known. Maybe it has something to do with this being called a wandering shop. I'm already lost, let's not make it worse.
Yeah, who knows? If you just, pulled the lever, who knows where it would go, right? Jars.
Jars. Yes, once again, a closer inspection does in fact reveal that they are jars. What's the matter? Don't you trust the written description?
Sometimes he stares right at the camera and asks you a question, and it feels like you just did the most dumb thing possible. But at the same time, sometimes you do need to examine things before you can determine more information about them. So yes, I do not trust the written description.
That looks nice. Can I have it then?
Certainly not. It's not for sale.
What about this fish?
A stuffed fish. I can't say I think this is the absolute best sales venue for preserved seagoing wildlife. Still, if today was the day I wanted to go into combined camping and weapons shop and purchase sea life, then this would certainly be my choice du jour.
We don't need to purchase it.
That looks nice. Can I have it then?
Certainly.
What? No mumbo jumbo? No sudden insistence that I go on a special quest or anything?
What? Me? Order a princess about? Whatever are you thinking?
She calls a princess. She thinks we're a princess because Rincewind is wearing a dress. I mean, it's a robe, but a dress.
Frog-scented incense? Extra smoky? Frog-scented? In the middle of summer? These people are barbarians.
I don't know what summer has to do with it, but sure.
That looks interesting. Could I possibly have it then?
Certainly.
1 stick of incense. Starting to accumulate some items. Look at this weird assortment of junk that we've got. How about these candles then?
Candles, excellent. These should do the job nicely.
Yeah, we needed candles, dribbly candles, but sure.
No, can't reach them. I better ask her first anyway.
Alright, that's pretty much everything in here. What about the old woman?
An old woman. Well, I say old, but given the cruel abuses of this dingy level of technology, the possibilities of childhood malnutrition and debilitating diseases in later life, that gives a fair range, doesn't it? And even if she is old, I mean, old is a relative term. She's older to some people and younger to others.
It's quite this insightful commentary. Didn't quite expect it. Hello, old lady.
Hey there, Your Highness. And aren't you a pretty little girl?
I'm not a little girl, I'm a powerful and dignified magician.
Why are you dressed up as a princess then?
I most certainly am not.
You've got a tall, pointy hat. All princesses have tall, pointy hats.
Look, it's not...
And a dress. A tall, pointy hat and a dress. That's a princess in my book.
So how do you explain the beard then, eh? Eh?
I thought that was just probably your peasant blood, dear. A lot of men find a bit of hair sultry and attractive.
I wish a lot of women did.
Indeed.
I can't really see that this shop serves any valid social purpose at all. It all seems like a total waste of resources.
Well, that's nice coming from a princess.
Quite rude.
Look, for the
considering
last
we've got a bunch of
time,
items here.
I am not a princess.
Okay, Your Highness.
Questions?
Look, all joking apart, what are you selling?
Well, Your Highness, this here is an adventure shop. It has all the marvellous things people need when they decide that their main calling in life is to find a hole in the ground, collect some friends, and then go delving into the underground, armed only with swords, rope, 10-foot poles, halberds, 6 torches, and a flask of oil.
Dungeons and Dragons?
Precious. And is there actually much of a demand for this?
No. It's all collectible trading cards these days. Dimwick, the smothering. It's taken all the
Magic
fun out
the
of
Gathering.
the business. I can't even shift magic items anymore.
Magic items? What, elven cloaks, magic swords, boots of speed, that kind of thing?
That's the stuff. We don't really stock the boots anymore, though. We did have boots of domination, but a female barbarian already bought up those. Anyway,
I bet
do
she
have
did.
a browse, Your Highness, and let me know if there's anything you want.
Just wonderful D&D reference there. Wonderful D&D reference and a wonderful Magic the Gathering question mark reference. I don't know. Like this, remember this game was in the mid-90s. Dungeons and Dragons was not popular at that point. Nowadays, obviously, is. It's had a ginormous resurgence, but not back then. And I don't know about Magic the Gathering, whether that was becoming super popular at the time or not. I don't know. According to her, it was. Anyway, shall we ask about candles?
Candles? You do candles?
Yes, Your Royal Highness. I make them by hand. Well,
That's
I
useful
would
to
make
know.
them by hand, but everyone just uses continual light spells these days. I don't really stock candles anymore. Those are just display models made out of plaster.
But you could make me some if you had the chance.
Oh, yes, love. I just need you to bring me the raw materials. Now, your grade A candle, that's made from dead whales. We used to use their nasal hairs, but these days a true pure white candle is made from spermaceti.
Where does that come from?
I never dared ask, love.
Probably
Anyway,
best not to.
the next best thing is beeswax.
Beeswax, right.
We used to have a lovely bee milking parlour out the back. The
Milking?
bees insisted it was the only way to get the job done. Every evening, we'd round up the bees and settle them down in little chairs, give them all a newspaper, and let them wax away to their heart's content. Then someone pointed out that all we had to do was open up the hive and scoop out all the wax we want. The little buzzers had been having us on all along.
You just can't trust a bee, can you?
That's just what I always say, Your Royal Highness.
Oh, stop it.
Alright, so we need to find some beeswax to give to this old woman, and she'll make us some candles. Which makes sense, considering we were talking to the beekeeper earlier. Alright, a couple more areas to look at. How about the plaza? Well, well, well.
Popcorn!
If it ain't the most loud, Cutting my own throat, man. In the disc. On the disc? Anyway, the odium.
Odium? What's an odium and why should I care?
Take the sign, Rincewind.
What, you want me to walk around carrying a big sign?
Yes, but you won't. We got some posters.
Trolls prefer blondes. Why, do they go better with broccoli? Let's not play with the scenery. It may upset the space-time continuum.
True. I don't know specifically what that is in reference to. It's an L-space thing from the first game, but I don't know which piece of scenery you can mess with and cause a paradox. Obviously, he doesn't want to do that again, so we can't actually go into the odium.
This one looks good. Attack of the 50-foot dwarf. Should go down a treat with the local trolls. I can't just steal a bunch of pixels, you know. Anyway, at this resolution, they're just too heavy.
That doesn't make sense. Anyway, that's great.
Did I say the one about great greats yet? Looks much too firmly stuck down.
We can't take the grate, but what we're looking at here is the milkmaid, with a very sparkly dress. Are we putting things together, perhaps?
Oh dear, the milkmaid. Big on blouse fillings and short on complex neurological pathways.
She looks awfully a bit... Do you get a sort of Marilyn Monroe vibe from her, perhaps? Maybe. Definitely.
Oh, no, I just don't think this is working.
By the great beard of someone unusually well bearded. What happened to you? I thought you were a milkmaid.
I was a dairy products distribution agent, thank you. All that's behind me now. I'm a thespian.
I'm sorry.
An actress. A star of stage and screen. I'm starring in a new cliquey called Trolls Prefer Blondes.
Oh. And why do trolls prefer blondes?
Well, apparently I'm damn. What's that word for generic pop idol?
An icon?
No, icons grow on trees.
Acorns.
Those are acorns.
Really? I'm sure it wasn't acorns. Oh, well then. Maybe it was coconuts or melons then. I'm sure I heard it mentioned somewhere.
I think I'm beginning to get the idea.
Anyway, now I'm a famous pop coconut. It's ever so exciting.
A famous pop coconut.
So you're a clicky star now, are you?
Yeah, isn't it fun? They said my assets and experience perfectly suited me to the job.
Experience? You were a bloody milkmaid.
So?
I fail to see what milk production has to do with qualities of screen charisma. Oh, forget I said that.
I'm not going to comment on that. You can draw your own damn conclusions.
What a lovely dress. Very, very glittery, wouldn't you say? Not that I'm hinting about clues or anything.
Of course
Glitter
not.
is what all this clicky business is about.
All right.
Cool. Yet another empty-headed character. Nice glittery dress, though.
Does he want to shout hint at us? Because I feel like he does. Yeah. This is where our glitter is, but how do we get it? She's a Marilyn Monroe type character, and there's a grate underneath. We also have a way to blow air. So... yeah, we just need to find out how to get under there at some point, right? The dibbler.
Cut me own throat dibbler. The sort of itinerant merchant venturer that gives greed a bad name.
What are you selling, dibbler?
Popcorn!
Popcorn.
Do it yourself popcorn! Just add heat and butter and maybe a frying pan. Also serves as catapult ammunition. Or excellent fishing sinkers. Come and get it while it's still in stock. Only one previous owner. I'm letting it go for less than mark price, and that's cutting me own throat. Popcorn!
Jeez. Anyway.
Is this all your life has to offer? I thought you might have, well, you know, improved yourself. Reached for higher goals.
I'm reaching, Gov, I'm reaching. Matter of fact, I'm going into clickies.
What are clickies? I hear people asking. Don't worry, we'll get into it. It'll be explained.
Clickies? Just what Ankh-Morpork needed, eh?
Exactly!
Yeah, for you, irony means sort of like iron, doesn't it? So we're into clickies now, are we? At last, the monkey has found the banana plantation.
Yep, moving pictures. Here, have a read of this.
That's what I can get
Clickies!
in the
Oh,
middle
now
of
there's
conversation.
romance for you. Hot dogs, popcorn, drink stands, the merry rumble of candy rolling down the aisles.
And the shows. Don't forget the actual clickies themselves.
What? Oh yeah, I mean the shows go without saying. Chocolate-dipped ice cream, novelty drinking cups, collectible lobby cards.
I don't believe this. You mean to tell me that art has to take a second place to cheap licensing and marketing? Well, I can tell you that I'm above that sort of thing. Catch me being involved in some damn licensing scam? Ha! Fat chance. The last thing I'd ever do is allow myself to become involved in a shabby marketing ploy designed to use a famous name to sell a product which is in itself utterly devoid of any real... Right. Well, good luck with the career and I'll be off.
Did we mention the range
Very
of pewter
fourth wall
figurines and
breaking,
exciting T-shirts this time? Shh.
We're just out. Goodbye. Let's put that in there. We're not done with Dibbler. We need to go and talk to him again.
Popcorn!
Yeah, I just skipped through all of
Only
this.
one-
If I press escape, it comes right up to the chat. Also, moving pictures. Clickies. Clickies is a colloquialism for film. Presumably named because the film reels go click, click, click as they spin. It really is that simple, huh? Did I ask about the sarcasm?
Clickies?
Oh, I did.
Did
Whoops.
Pop?
Question mark.
What are you doing here, apart that is from being a disease vector?
Scouting, mate. Here, incognito, looking for the next great clicky star. Heard about clickies? The latest thing? Just think, mate. A fortune could be just around the corner. All it takes is my know-how, the right actors, and a few dozen obscure objects from ludicrously scattered locations.
Oh no.
And just how would you go about collecting all these items?
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I can't imagine. Can you, boys and girls?
I'm afraid I can.
I suppose if I ever need a devious, slimy, utterly shameless clicky director, I'll know where to come. Gosh. Now that has to be a nested hint.
Does it? Does it? It does.
Oh, no.
Hey, don't knock me back until you've seen the goods, sir. Smashing stuff. Fine popping grains lovingly swept from the warehouse floor.
Why has he got little rat's hairs mixed up all through it?
Just keeping the grains warm, sir. An added extra and no additional charge.
Beautiful
Oh, all right
spin.
then. Anything to keep you quiet.
Alright, we got some popcorn. Let's leave. It's about time we did that. So, I think it's time to learn about some stuff. In the manual. Ah yes, we haven't done enough of this, have we? So, what are we reading about this time? Ankh-Morpork, I believe. Many philosophers have mused on the reason for Ankh-Morpork's existence, although a leading theory is that it exists solely to make other cities feel better. Ankh-Morpork has been burned down many times in its long history, out of revenge, carelessness, spite, or even just for the insurance. Actually, I think in the Colour of Magic TV series, one of the first characters you meet is burning down an inn for insurance. And that was made many years after this. Keep your eyes up in the top right, you can see where the shop's going. I can't see it currently because I'm looking at this screen. Most of the stone buildings that actually make it a city have survived intact. Many people, that is, many people who live in stone buildings, think that a good fire every 100 years or so is essential to keep the health of the city, since it helps to keep down rats, roaches, fleas, and of course, people not rich enough to own stone houses. Each time it is rebuilt using the traditional local materials of tinder dry wood and thatch waterproofed with tar. It's generally accepted that the original building of the city was the Tower of Art, which is what the Unseen University was built around which the grounds of the Unseen University have matured like mould on a particularly ancient yoghurt. The Tower of Art is known to be 800 feet tall. Time, weather and indifferent repairs have given it a gnarled appearance, like a tree that has seen too many thunderstorms. It's topped by a forest of little turrets and crenellations, around which entire species of beetles and small mammals have evolved, aided by the emanations of magic from the university. In fact, the species of bat, which is known to live at the top of the tower, is believed to have developed a language so complex that they've decided eventually to not bother using it. Fresh water used to be brought straight into the city centre by a viaduct, which fell down centuries ago. Water is now drawn from shallow wells, which is thanks to the city's high water table. This, along with the slaughterhouses and cabbage fields, spice houses and breweries, contributes to Ankh-Morpork's most famous civic attribute, the smell. The citizens are very proud of the smell. On a really good day, they carry chairs outside to enjoy it. Perhaps the most useful side effect of the smell is that in its long and undistinguished history, no one has ever invaded Ankh-Morpork. Note, this is not entirely true. Technically, the city has been invaded on numerous occasions. In fact, the city welcomes free-spending barbarian invaders, but somehow the puzzled raiders always find that after a few days, that they don't own their horses anymore, and within a couple of months they're just another minority group with its own graffiti and food shops. We'll read about this part, nowhere in the blah 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 shades, in just a little bit. Alright. So, where haven't we been just yet? How about the Fool's Guild? Although, I haven't saved in quite a while, so let's LP Act 1, save over that. Let's go to the Fool's Guild.
Used to be one of the more jolly guilds. Now look at it, just a pile of rubble.
We can actually make some progress. I know, incredible progress. It's the Fool, it's the Jester from the first game.
That leads to the sewers.
We've got a hooter.
A clown's hooter. Now I can blow my own horn at last.
Great, let's take that.
I think you might be confusing me with someone who actually wants to exert themselves.
I accidentally used the hooter on Rincewind, but into luggage. There's not a lot to examine here. The top of the place has gone down to the bottom. All the rubble is just kind of here. There's the Fool.
My old pals, the Fool and Chucky.
I really hesitate to call them pals, but okay. There's a brick.
A house brick?
Oh,
Nice
Chucky,
heft. Good
Chucky,
aerodynamics.
Chucky.
There's nothing quite like a good solid brick to bring out the artist in a man.
Let's take the brick. We now have a brick in our hands. Now, I said really early on, like almost 2 hours ago at this point, that if you use an item too soon, you'll actually get a bit of a hint as to what you're trying to do. So if I use the brick on the Fool...
Good idea, but not just yet.
Interesting, right? Let's chat to the Fool.
Great gods, you two again?
No, Chucky, Chucky, Chucky.
But you're dead. You quit life's stage. You're resting.
Chucky wants to be the ghost of all jokes past. Being dead is grand. Look, we even get flowers. Oh, Chucky, Chucky, Chucky.
It's strange because there are no flowers and no sort of decoration around here at all, so I don't really know what he's talking about, or if that art just wasn't put in the game. Who knows?
Now look.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Cohen.
Cohen who?
Cohen, answer the door. Oh, Chucky, 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 Chuck, 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 Chuck.
If you don't use that joke on the next person you speak to that asks for a joke, you have severely missed out.
Why is it everyone else toddles off to heaven or hell and you two get to hang around here?
Chucky, 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 chuck, chuck, chuck. I'm stuck. Stucky.
You can't leave. I mean, you're dead, but not gone before. You're haunting.
No, death hasn't come for us yet. Left us floating here, he did. Chucky can't leave the Guildhall stones and mortar. Not even for sures.
Yours? What's yours?
Oh, a pint of lager and roast boar crisp, thanks. Oh, Chucky.
You're right. You are the ghost of old jokes.
So he can't leave the bricks and mortar of the Fool's Guild. Presumably, I mean, if you looked closely when Windle died, there was a little thread between his soul and his body, and that Death's job is to sever that with his side so that the soul can be taken to the afterlife, right? The Fool doesn't actually seem to have a thread on him, but he's bound to the bricks and mortar of this place, presumably because his body is stuck under there somewhere mangled and he can't re-inhabit it.
Oh, no. If we had to have a character from the past, what happened to that nice Amazon lady? Maybe I can throw his haunted rocks into the middle of a sewer or something. Let's see him laugh that one off.
That is a very interesting idea, Rincewind. Throw his haunted rocks. Actually, let's examine the brick first.
A house brick? Nice. There's nothing quite like a good solid...
We heard that before. How about using it?
Basically, it feels just like a brick should feel.
Alright. He can't leave the confines of the bricks and mortar. But...
Now pay attention.
Attention, yes.
You said that you have to haunt the stones and mortar of the guild.
Guild, yes.
Well, is there any reason why you have to stay here? I mean, if the stones are moved, then you can move with them. You could just hop into one of the rocks, and I could take you somewhere more interesting.
Interesting, yes.
Are you listening to me?
No. Oh, Chucky.
Just get into the damn stone.
Oh,
Love that line, by the way. Just get into the damn stone. We now have an haunted brick.
A brick haunted by my old pals Chucky and the Jester. Yuck, they feel all cold and slimy.
I think at this point we should go through all of the random junk that we picked up and examine it.
A clown's hooter. How I can blow my own horn at last. I'm not touching that, you never know where it's been.
Clown's hooter? You know what? Probably best not to ask.
Dibbler's do-it-yourself banging grain. No refunds, no returns, no regrets.
No regrets, huh?
Feels like plain and simple corn to me.
How about this incense?
Incense? Frog-scented. I could try rubbing two together. I could, but I won't.
I am skipping over the brochure for now.
A stuffed fish? Well, you'd be stuffed too if you'd had your innards replaced with old wool bits and cotton scraps.
Certainly would be stuffed.
I better not poke it too hard, it might burst. Yuck. A stuffed pink flamingo. Actually, they say flamingos turn pink due to eating pink shrimps. Since shrimps only go pink after they're boiled, I think the reason for our friend Birdie's demise is starting to become more and more apparent.
He stole some shrimps and was killed for it?
What can I say? It's, well, stuffed, I suppose.
How about this pick?
A pick. Find me something to use it on and I might surprise you.
Might surprise me because Rincewind is known for not really ever wanting to exert himself. So, yeah.
A graduated measuring device. Putting my finger in the test tube doesn't accomplish much.
A magnet?
A magnet. Evidence of a frightening world of physical forces that I'm quite happy to ignore.
Magnets. How do they work? I don't want to talk to a site that let's skip the name.
Ooh, it makes me tingle all over.
Bellows?
Bellows. Strangely soothing to operate, but I don't know if they'll ever catch on. Bellows.
I don't know why the exact same bit of information happens for both types of click. How about this brochure?
A brochure about do-it-yourself clickies.
Do-it-yourself clickies?
Be a clicky director in 10 easy steps. Make a clicky about your favourite subject. Dibbler Direct will show you how.
Your favourite subject? Who have we spoken to already that has a very distinct favourite subject? I'll let you think on that one. There is also the Rite of Ash Kente item that I have been avoiding up until this point, but let's have a look. brings us to this very special little screen that shows us all the things that we need for our main quest here. It says Ash Kente has a picture of death. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, right?
The only way to get it is to go out and find it. 4 cc's of mouse blood? Ugh.
Oh, I can't just double-click on it and have it.
Glitter dust. Maybe I can shake down a few pixies.
Unlikely.
1 smell. Vile.
Now, do take into account that the smell has to be vile. Absolutely vile. The Pixies' boots, the Imp's boots did smell, or they do smell, but they're not vile enough. So we'll have to think about that.
3 sticks. Must be exactly the same length.
It sounded like he was actually going to continue there, but nope.
Not just your ordinary candles. No, we need dribbly candles.
Dribbly candles. Now then, I do have a note on the right of Ash Kente. From Wikipedia, I think, this one. Ash Kente, or Ash Kent, was an ancient magic ritual that summoned and bound death in a circle and prevented him from leaving until invited to do so by the summoning wizard. This may have been wishful thinking on the part of the wizard, as in Eric, I think is a book, death appeared outside of the circle, behind the wizards, and in Reaper Man, a wizard commented that he believed death only stayed in the circle for the look of the thing. Although the rite could be performed by a couple of people with 3 small sticks and 4 cc's of mouse blood, or even with a fresh egg and only 2 small sticks, the wizards preferred to do it the old-fashioned way, with heavy equipment consisting of numerous drippy candles, octograms on the floor, thuribles, I don't really know what thuribles are, and similar paraphernalia. They felt it was not proper wizardry if it wasn't showy enough. Presumably the smell and the glitter dust are thuribles. Never heard that word before. So hey, that's something we've learned together, huh? So, speaking of various bits and pieces, like glitter dust, let's have a wander down here.
That leads to the Fool's Guild.
Does it, Rincewind? Yes, let's have a wander over this way onto the left. Ah! That's great!
What a great grate. Hey, there's the milkmaid. Quite a flattering angle, really. No, can't move it.
But we don't want to move it.
Just some old barrels. No, there's nothing in them.
Good, that means nothing to interact with. Now then, all that Marilyn Monroe stuff I was on about before. If I say Marilyn Monroe to you, and not Marilyn Manson, I've been just mixing that up in my head so many times every time I say it. Not the heavy metal guy. No, if I say Marilyn Monroe to you, what is the one image that comes to mind? It's her holding a dress down as the wind catches it, right? So let's use the bellows on this grate. Let's recreate the image.
Miss? Are you alright? Should I stop now?
No, keep it going a little longer. My agent always said I needed more exposure.
Maybe not that kind of exposure, but hey. Whatever works, and that gets us one of the easiest items to get for the end of the game. The glitter dust.
Glitter dust, eh? Well, I'm sure this will come in very useful. Oh, that feels good.
Basically, all we needed to do was go into the high energy facility, pick up the bellows, come down here and use them on the grate, and that would have been it. That would have been super quick stuff. There's still a little more to explore down here. Let's go to the right, and we got up here.
That leads to the Pork Futures warehouse.
Now then, the Pork Futures warehouse is my absolute, undisputable favourite room in this whole game. So let's see why.
Pork Futures. Probably no other world in the multiverse has warehouses for things which only exist in Potentia. Here, however, the Pork Futures warehouse is a product of the patricians' rules about baseless metaphors, the literal mindedness of citizens who assume that everything must exist somewhere, and the general thinness of reality around Ankh. The net result is that trading in Pork Futures, in pork that doesn't exist yet, led to the building of the warehouse to store it until it does. The extremely low temperatures are caused by the imbalance in the temporal energy flow.
What a strange thing, but a perfect example of what Discworld is. If you believe it hard enough, then it can come to be, and if people have believed in trading in pork that doesn't exist yet, as in the stock market for pork, somehow that has made this pork actually sort of semi-appear. It's not quite here yet, but it sort of is.
The image of pork that may exist sometime in the future. Nothing like thinking ahead, I suppose.
One of the funniest things I think you can try and do is actually take the pork.
What? Pick up something that doesn't exist yet?
Because that's just brilliant. It is just such a brilliantly funny concept.
I hope this ice isn't made from that river water outside. Nah, it can't be. It's the wrong colour. Well, I doubt whether I can move it by hand.
We do actually have a means to get the ice. We have a pick in our luggage, but I don't actually need the ice yet until Act 2, so remember it's here, and we'll come back for it later.
That leads to the sewers.
There's actually one of my channel badges is a weird outline of a hat. It is the Pork Futures hat, inspired entirely by this one screen in this one game. That's how deeply involved I am in liking this thing. Let's have a wander around the sewers. Oh, I didn't actually realise there was an exit this way, so this is just a whole circular set of rooms that we can go through. This looks like an area that we can walk up, but we can't, so let's get out of the Fool's Guild and back to this area. Now we have a bunch of items still, but not really anything to fully get finished, and one set of areas that we haven't been to. We haven't been quite to the shades yet. There is, however, one thing I want to read about the shades in the manual, and that is about the smell. Nowhere is the smell more evident, more in evidence, than in the shades, the original and ancient part of the city. The inhabitants of the shades are largely nocturnal and never inquire about one another's business or indeed to talk to each other at all. Visitors to the shades are advised to avoid anyone they see coming and worry about anyone that they can't. In short, the shades is the unidentified sticky stuff on the sole of Ankh-Morpork's boots. Ankh-Morpork has a thriving, or at least festering, population of humans, and the largest known dwarfish colony anywhere on the disk. It is also home to a growing number of trolls, undead, and other special interest groups. The fact that the trolls and the dwarves, who are historically bitter enemies, do not instigate a state of all-out war is a tribute to the unifying force of the Ankh-Morpork dollar. Indeed. I believe that's everything that we're going to see from the manual today? I think it might be. So back to the game. Alright, we now just need to visit the shades, and in doing so, we'll hopefully be able to solve a lot of missing items that we still need. So shall we go from left to right? It actually doesn't matter. Your first entry into the shades will force you into the middle one, which I guess I'll demonstrate here by trying to go into the left one. We're in the middle. And hey look, it's the death of rats.
Oh, hello. And what in the world are you? Yes, yes. Well, I didn't understand a word of that at all. Sorry.
Poor death of rats. The grim squeaker. Off he goes. I'm actually just going to go straight back out because I want to go into the left-hand section and move from left to right. So, this is the left-hand area of the shades. We can't actually go up this little path here, but there's this mysterious door.
Looks like the door to some secret society. Or my name isn't Brother Rincewind.
Good reference to the first game. Let's have a knock on that door. Someone's knocking on your door. There is no bell, so I can't ring that.
Out, you dead
there!
Ha! A likely story. That's just the sort of attitude I've come to expect from you living fascists.
What? I never said a word.
Words, yeah, right. That's where it starts. Dead common. Dead boring. You've used them. Don't say you haven't.
I'm not prejudiced. I'm dead set against it.
Oh,
See,
Rincewind.
there you go. If there's ever going to be any justice for us undead, then we have to start at the grassroots.
Oh, a bit lower than that, surely.
Maybe
Don't
6
you
feet.
try to dictate our level of activity. Lively, dead right. That's what we want. So if you're not dead, then drop dead. This club's for the children of the night, so if you want to live it up, right, you go elsewhere.
Indeed. Those of you that read the books might have an idea of who could be in there, but I don't really understand the reference, and I don't know the characters in there very well myself, so you guys are going to have to inform me on that one.
Yeah, that leads to Mrs. Cakes.
Yeah, Mrs. Cake. Who's Mrs. Cake, I hear you asking? Let's go find out. That's Mrs. Cake. I don't know what this creature-looking thing is here. This weird face. I mean, I can't examine it. Can't examine anything really in here. There is this genie bottle, which I'm not going to touch yet. And a skull. And that's about it, apart from the crystal ball.
One crystal ball, complete with test pattern. Just snow. Guess I don't know how to work it.
Or maybe it's a snow globe. Who knows? Skull.
Sort of a sense of foreboding here. No, I don't think so. I have a nasty feeling that this skull motif will come up a lot later on.
Oh, it will. Act 3. It will. Let's ignore Mrs. Cake for just a little bit and just wander over to the left and see that we have a closet.
A closet, just a place for the odd skeleton or two.
Remember that line, because later on it will be important. Ah, a closet with an ironing board inside. Practical.
An ironing board. I never use them myself.
We don't actually need the ironing board until Act 2, but I'm going to steal it anyway.
An ironing board might have a dozen fascinating uses, and as soon as I figure one out, I'll get right back to you.
How about ironing, Rincewind?
Long and smooth.
Long and smooth.
A closet, just a...
Right, nothing more here. We've got some
A good
jars.
assortment of jars containing all manner of the latest accessories for the modern medium.
Can we take any of those accessories?
I don't really have any use for these.
No, of course not. But the scissors.
A dressmaker's pair of scissors.
We're having those. Yoink.
A pair of scissors. Actually, I'm not usually allowed to use the ones with pointy ends.
Oh, poor Rincewind.
I've just trimmed my nails, thank you.
What if I try to use the scissors on Rincewind? Just curious. I actually don't know if this will do anything. Probably not.
I've just trimmed mine.
Huh. Well, there you go. There's also this dummy.
A wooden dummy. Hey, its arms are almost as dainty as mine.
And this petticoat.
A petticoat. Ooh, silky. But at least you can see through it, if you want to, for any reason.
Rincewind, calm down.
Try as hard as I could, I doubt that I can break an arm off.
Break an arm off. Bit of a strange thing to say, but something we'll actually need to do at some point. How about the petticoat, though? Oh, don't be such a creep. It's just a dummy, Rincewind. It's not even a real person. Thankfully, I'd suppose. We now have a petticoat.
A petticoat? Such thin and delicate material, I can see clear through it.
You can see clear through it. Good to know.
Perhaps when we finish the game, then I might try it on.
Forgot about that line. Alright, let's have a chat to Mrs. Cake.
Mrs. Cake, you'd think a hat that size would sap her strength, wouldn't you?
No, Mrs. Cake is a clairvoyant. This thing, this weird looking horn that's coming out the side of her head, is some sort of device that lets her see into the future. And this dialogue used to confuse me as a kid for quite a while until you work out exactly how it works. It's very simple. It's a very easy puzzle. But yeah, this conversation's a puzzle.
Is it? Oh, I haven't been outside.
Hello there. Nice day, eh?
What? How dare you?
What? How dare you? Hello.
Well, now you're just talking rubbish. Order your thoughts, young man.
And you get kicked out of the conversation. Okay, so that didn't work. Let's
Is
try
it?
again.
Oh, I haven't been outside.
Hello there. Nice day, eh?
What? How dare you?
What's going on?
Well, now you're just talking rubbish. Order your thoughts, young man.
Alright, I'm sure everybody's worked it out by now. She's a clairvoyant. She sees into the future. She is responding to us before we respond to her.
Is it? Oh, I haven't been outside.
Hello there. Nice day, eh?
What? How dare you?
We need to give her the appropriate response for what she just said. Now that sounded like we insulted her, so let's give her the sarcastic response.
Look, I believe you're fouling up this whole conversation.
What do you mean? How do I do it?
That sounded like a question. Simple enough.
I just don't believe the hash you're making of a simple conversation. How are you managing to do it?
Ooh, yes, that's what I am. Why, does it show?
That one is one that used to trip me up as a kid. I think that's quite simply Rincewind reflecting on the situation.
She's talking like she already knows what I'm going to say. Is she a clairvoyant?
Well, it's nice to start all over again. I'm sorry about all that. Sometimes I forget I've left it on, you see.
Yeah, she's got this device on and we need to start the conversation again.
Hello there. Nice day. Oh, damn it, we're back here again.
Eh? Oh, sorry, I forgot to turn my precognition off.
Kind of like a hearing aid, I suppose.
There we are. That
Great
should be
music
much
change
easier.
too. Alright, let's start this whole conversation again. You notice that, well, you know what, let's just start again.
Phew, thank heavens that's all over.
I'm so very sorry about that, young man. I'll forget my own head next. Now, how may I help you?
Mrs. Cake is actually seemingly pretty alright. Bit of a weirdo. Using this crystal ball to its full extent. We can't do that. But yeah, she seems alright.
A psychic, eh? Well, who'd have thought it?
You did, do you? About 3 minutes from now.
Do you really get away with all this? Just pretending to read other people's thoughts for a living?
Well, it's not as if I'm making money at it. Ask most people to cross your palm with silver and they look at you like you're some sort of beggar. The only fringe benefit these days is the ectoplasm.
Ectoplasm? What do you use that for?
Never you mind.
Probably best not to ask.
I am too.
You're not really a psychic.
I will.
Prove it.
All right, ask them.
I know.
It's going backwards
Answer my
again.
questions.
Blue,
Describe my favourite colour.
a rash,
Describe what I got for my birthday.
Oh dear.
fat, toothless and covered with sauce.
I don't know what he was
Describe
going to
my
ask there.
breakfast.
Frilly underwear.
Nope. I just can't remember what I meant to ask just then.
I do,
What am I
and
wearing,
you ought to
perhaps?
wash your mind with soap and water. Now, why don't you just go off about your business, or I'll tell all the nice audience about what you keep in your sock drawer.
I don't think I want to know.
Is there much of a commercial call for ectoplasm? Gives you pause for thought.
Does it? Let's ask about ectoplasm. This green gooey stuff.
Where does ectoplasm come from anyway?
Ooh, you can wring it out of spirits if you can catch 'em.
Spirits.
Swish it out of 'em like wringing laundry.
Alright.
Well, that's it for now.
Spirits, you say? Well, we've got a haunted brick. How about we use that on Mrs. Cake?
I think they're happy enough haunting the brick without that.
See, if you use items on items, you just
I think they're...
get results. I'm actually curious what happens if I use the flamingo on things.
It's already stuffed to near bursting.
Yeah, I don't want to waste too much time just pissing about using items on items, because you could do that all day, and I strongly suggest if you play this game yourself, then you do that. Because at some point you will get confused and you'll just start resorting to using items on items in the hope, the vague, vain hope that something happens. So what about this genie bottle that I ignored before?
A genie bottle, eh? Obviously a good home for beings of the non-substantial persuasion.
We need this.
I better ask her about buying it.
Buying it, eh?
Quite well, thank you. Well, go on, ask it. I get a migraine if you don't ask the right questions once the answers have come.
Hello, Mrs. Cake. How are you?
That's better.
Alright, can we have this genie bottle?
Might I borrow that genie bottle you have on the shelf up there?
I tell you what, you can have the bottle, but only if you get me some nice fresh ectoplasm.
Ectoplasm? What? That stuff that drips down walls? Sort of ghostly goo?
That's the stuff. Nice and slippery.
Won't the wallpaper get all sticky?
That's what the punters want these days, dear. They don't think you're a proper psychic unless there's ectoplasm sloshing all over the place.
All over place. Love the old northern accent. So, if you cast your mind back to many time ago, we actually found out how to separate things from things, and how to potentially separate spirit from the other bits of spirit. So what if we chuck the haunted brick at the accelerator? Just a mad thought. Well, the brick hit us in the head.
No. Don't you know it's wrong to mix spirits?
Oh, chucky, 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 chucky. Oh, chucky, 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 chucky.
Lovely. That is our ectoplasm.
Ectoplasm? At least I hope it's ectoplasm. Ugh, you have to be kidding.
Alright. We've now got
A fun
Chucky
accelerator, eh? It looks like
and
a
the
giant
Fool
drink mixer to me.
going around. This is one of the most obscure puzzle answers, I think, so far. You have to remember so far back about these guys just talking about mixing spirits and things in there, and it being a drink mixer and all of that stuff. It's quite a stretch, but now we have ectoplasm. And I can do something with said ectoplasm. So let's go back to the shades and give it to Mrs. Cake, so that we can get that genie ball that we just saw. Nice and simple stuff, right? We're doing some stuff slightly linearly here. So let's take the ectoplasm and just give it to her.
Here, take it and choke.
It's a bit mean, Rincewind. I don't know what she just did with it. Let's not ask. We now have a genie ball.
Empty genie bottle. 3 wishes and whoosh, he's off into retirement. What kind of a job is that? Actually, that sounds like a very good job.
Indeed. Oh, I didn't actually do this.
No, it's empty. And I certainly can't fit inside.
Indeed. Did I? Oh, I did examine that. Alright, let's carry on through the shades. Alright, we've got a cart.
Oh, lovely. A cart load of corpses. Still, I suppose it's nice to get out for a bit of a ride in the fresh air.
Can we get in the cart?
Hey, you! Leave them alone! If you want to join them, you need to be dead first.
Dead interested in how that's gonna go. Possibly an Act 2 sort of thing.
So this is the dead collector, huh? When I was a lad, I just used to collect butterflies. I suppose it's just a matter of scaling up.
Bring out your living dead. Bring out your living dead. Dead collected, corpses transported. Guaranteed disposal to far-off climes. The dear departed stay departed. They like it so much they never come back. Highly recommended service. Well, obviously the transportees themselves won't recommend us, but complaints are never ever received either. Bring out your living dead.
Possibly a Monty Python reference. Possibly. Or it could just be a dead collector. Who knows?
Dead, sir?
Dead? Of course I'm not dead. Do I look dead?
No, hard to tell sometimes these days, sir. It's just that if you're dead, then you're stuck in trade. Our post-mortem travel service offers dozens of very exciting internment locations.
Look, I am not dead.
Look, you seem a little bit peaky. Why don't you just hop on the old cart for a minute, and if you pop off, then it saves us all a lot of trouble.
If it's all the same to you, I think I'll avoid resting my backside on a pile of carrion.
Suit yourself, sir. I'm sure they don't mind.
Foreign climes? For a corpse?
Well, corpses have needs too, sir. It's not all just fun and games being dead. There's a sudden stiffness in the joints, continual growth of hair and fingernails, not to mention noisy poltergeists and neighbours who dislike being gnawed.
Ignored?
No, gnawed. You know, maggots and such like. Pshaw. Should hear the way some of them go on about it. I mean, it's not like there's anything I can do about it. Still, I thought the offer of a few exotic locations for internment might soften the blow, as it were, sir.
Yeah, so with people dying and not actually being taken anywhere, there's now a lot of living dead people, and also they do need to dispose of the corpses somewhere, so this guy's taken to shipping them off to somewhere the hell else that isn't Ankh-Morpork. I guess that's one way of doing a job.
So, how is business these days?
Tailing off, to tell you the truth, sir. Most of the dead hereabouts nowadays provide their own transport.
What? They just start walking around all by themselves?
Yeah, bloody cheek. 1 minute you've got a livelihood, and the next minute everyone decides to be a zombie, all posh-like, and starts walking about and frightening school children. I've had to ruin myself, making my service more attractive.
Attractive? How?
Well, used to be we'd just take the stiffs and chuck them into the plague pit outside of the town.
Oh, lovely.
No, beautiful
Plague pit.
ceremony it was. Very touching, watching them slide down and go thump at the bottom of the hole. Real
Jeez.
poignant, like.
Yeah.
Now, though, you have to make it seem more attractive than wandering the streets as one of the walking dead. So now we offer transport to foreign climes. You know, sun, beaches, relaxation, that sort of thing. Hopefully it's just what your freshly snuffed corpse desires. A good holiday to get some of the kinks out.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters in the Shades that I don't actually need to be talking to just yet, but it's a good idea to just talk to them anyway. I also, for what it's worth, you've seen me in every conversation go from left to right, and I don't need to do that.
So, how is business?
Oh, sorry, I've already done that. I don't need to go left to right, but it just generally makes more sense in conversations to do so, because things just seem to work out better that way.
Posthumous travel services. I wonder if he gets many return customers.
Who knows?
Goodbye for now.
Alright, let's have a wander down here.
That leads to the mortuary.
Mortuary, nice. My favourite type of place. Alright, in here we find a wardrobe.
Can you imagine what horrors that could be kept in here?
It is a mortuary after all,
Fortunately, it's locked.
so we don't have to go in there.
Jars, eh?
More
I'd say
jars.
somebody around here has a pickling fetish.
Ooh, a pickling fetish in a mortuary?
I'm already in enough of a pickle.
Very funny. I am ignoring the obvious elephant in the room. There's the slops,
Slops. I don't think we ought to examine this one too closely.
but we will.
I'm not putting my hands in there.
Because if you miss this, you're going to miss quite a lot of stuff. It's very, very subtle, but there's actually a knife in there.
Reasonably sharp and not too much goo on it.
Let's have that and use it on Rincewind.
Ouch, yeah, a bit sharp.
How about we use it on the witch?
Cutting that won't help me.
No, it won't.
What, shall I get in some... A sharp cutting blade. Ouch, yeah.
Yep, it's still sharp. Alright, we got a poster.
A poster. Ah. Neo-Fauvist post-cubist surrealism, I see. Oh, wait a minute, I think it's upside down. Let's leave the scenery alone.
Look, Rincewind. Alright, this is... We gotta have a talk here. If the scenery's labelled, I'm gonna mess about with it. If it's not labelled, like this candle, or this... bad example, these jars up on this shelf, or these ones here, then I'm not gonna click on them. But if you label it, I'm gonna click on it.
Just the thing, a cold, hard slab of stone, and what's more, it's unoccupied. I'd need a good reason before I'd lie on that cold slab.
We'll get a good reason, don't you worry.
I guess this is the bucket they all kick before they go. Nope, afraid it's welded to the floor.
Why would you weld a bucket to the floor?
Just the thing for putting his equipment on. I think you might be confusing me with someone who actually wants to exert themselves.
Yeah, I can't steal the bench. Alright, this is a witch. If you flip your eyes upside down, I don't know how you do that. If you look very carefully at what's written here, it actually reads, I ain't dead. For those of you who know, this is a very, very obvious reference to who this character is. For those of you who don't, let's have a look.
Granny Weatherwax. A tough lady, this one. Best to let her get the beauty sleep she so obviously needs.
Hey, so, post-commentary Mike here, just interrupting myself. I said a bunch of stuff about Granny here that was just completely and utterly false. I was under the impression that she's a witchy witch. One of those sort of ugly types of witches, and that's the furthest from the truth that it could possibly be. So I actually wanted to correct myself here and say some stuff and just read from the wiki that Granny Weatherwax has striking blue eyes and a penetrating gaze, a hooked nose, so slightly witchy, and a determined jaw. In Equal Rights, the book, she's described as handsome, having an excellent complexion, no warts, and all of her teeth, although it's implied that she finds this a bit inappropriate for a witch. She's thin, she weighs 9 stone, and is described as being taller than Nanny Og and Magrat, the other witches in her coven. So yeah, I was completely off base with all of that stuff, and it's fairly important that I get that right, because she's a very prominent character in the Discworld. So there you go. I also went on a bit of a small rant about the way that she operates, in that she chooses not to use magic when she can and just does practical stuff. Again, from the wiki, she's capable of very powerful magic, but she prefers to avoid using it. She often relies on a thing that she calls headology, a sort of folk psychology that makes use of placebo and nocebo effects. For instance, although Granny is capable of placing curses upon people who anger her, she will instead simply allow them to believe that she has cursed them, and this causes the cursed person to worry and attribute any misfortune that they experience to the curse. There you go. That's Granny Weatherwax. And I ain't dead is what she puts on herself when she's doing a very specific thing, which we'll learn about in Act 2 and more in Act 4, actually, just briefly. But yeah, she can kind of transfer her consciousness into other creatures, and on more than one occasion she's been mistaken for being actually dead when doing so, because she looks kind of dead. She isn't moving. She doesn't have any signs of life when she's doing it. So she's written the sign, and she also isn't very good at spelling, it seems. I ain't dead. So that's what she's doing right now. We can't really interact with her or do anything about this at the moment. But we did need to come down here. Well, actually, I don't know if I double-clicked on her, because I get talking and I just forget if I've done that.
As she can't answer, there doesn't really seem any point.
Yeah, okay, I didn't. We did need that piece of dialogue, because we need the knowledge that Granny Weatherwax is here as somebody in the troll's head.
Well, the one saving grace is that the loss of the poor fellow's cranium probably didn't interfere with his thinking.
This is actually a troll's head.
What, walk around here carrying a troll's head?
Why not? Yeah, trolls are really, 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 really stupid in the Discworld. Unless you get the temperatures really down, in which case they become unimaginable geniuses. And we're about to meet one.
Barkeeper, I'll have a pint
Also
of
a dwarf,
Winkle's
I
extra
think.
flatulent, my good man. Down here. Oi! I said I'll have... Oi, come back here. Don't you know who I am? I am Casananda, the second greatest lover who ever lived, and the ladder salesman extraordinaire. Come back!
The second greatest lover who ever lived. That is a strange boast, I think. We can't go anywhere over to the right here. There's Casananda. He's a ladder salesman and the second greatest lover. Do you think those two things come into play together? Because I have a suspicion that they do.
Casananda, the world's second greatest lover. It would seem that small things do go a long way.
Badum-tish. Let's have a talk with Casananda. Lovely rose he's got. Hello.
And you are?
I am Casananda, ladder salesman and lover extraordinaire.
I don't know if there's anything particularly ordinary about that.
Oh, how we danced through the night. We danced and we danced till our socks were alight.
Two things. Number one, the Imp song was so much better. But number two, watching my OBS, like sound waves, while he was singing was actually kind of beautiful there. Weird observation, I know, but hey.
So you're the world's greatest lover, are you?
Second greatest, really. But the way I look at it, if people think you're number 2, then they know you try harder.
Very clever.
So, what does the world's second greatest lover do with his time?
Oh, I'm always looking for fresh challenges, sir. I look at it as my duty to bring a romance and step ladders into the lives of beautiful women everywhere.
Step ladders, eh?
This ladder of yours.
Ah, the finest ladder in all of the disc. The old equalizer, you might say.
You might say.
It allows the lover of a reduced altitude the opportunity to kiss his lady on the cheek instead of on the...
That's quite enough of that. Now look, I need a ladder. Can you get me one?
Oh, no, I only have one. And I need it for my romantic adventures. Introduce me to a beautiful woman, closer to the ground. A wild woman, a fair and beauteous flower. And the ladder shall be yours.
I hope it comes wash and wear.
So remember all that stuff I said about Granny Weatherwax being a very handsome looking witch? Yeah. She is also close to the floor too, so bonus. But before I give him that response, let's have a think.
Find some woman comatose enough to listen to that lot without screaming. That's a laugh for a start.
Comatose, huh? Yep. Granny Weatherwax is ticking the boxes.
I've found your perfect woman, I think. Or, to put it more accurately, I have found your greatest challenge. She's over in the mortuary.
You mean she's dead?
She doesn't seem to think so.
Hey,
She
that's
ain't
good enough
dead.
for me.
Alright, a ladder that was somehow in his pants. Great, we got ourselves a ladder.
A ladder, long and solid, just the thing to beat myself unconscious with and finally get a bit of kip. Nowhere really to climb to inside this window.
This window? The luggage window? Haha. Alright, there's a troll.
A troll. Entirely made from rock, but probably not as smart.
Dumber than rocks, huh?
What'll it be, lady?
Greetings to you, my good man. And who might you be?
Who?
You. I'm asking you what your name is. Who are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Amazing, isn't it? In any other city, you'd be mayor by now. Just tell me what alcohol you have to drink. And by that, I mean something which neither eats through the glass bottle, serves as host to a colony of sentient protozoa, or ends me up in any obscure, farcical little problems with chaos theory and butterflies.
No counterwise wine? Shame.
That's all we've got. Protozoa. They're only little protozoa.
Ciliate or non-ciliate?
I think they're mostly rotifers.
Brilliant. He can't tie his shoes, but he can classify microorganisms. There's one for the education system. All right, give me one very alcoholic drink, complete with sentient rotifers.
You want I should make it look pretty with a couple of little amoebas on a steak?
All right, whatever. And they say the art of cocktail mixing is long dead.
Yeah, trolls, real dumb, but sometimes extraordinarily smart.
A tankard of ale. Well, sort of ale anyway, if you forgive the busy little creatures swimming in it. Oh, look, some of them are waving. No, I refuse to drink any alcohol in this game. Getting through the introduction was bad enough.
Indeed, yeah. It caused a lot of problems in the first game, so that's all the troll can give us.
What have we here then? Winkle's Old Peculiar? Bear Hugger's Extremely Odd? If that's gin over there, why does the cork keep trying to unscrew itself?
Yikes.
I'll better ask the barkeep first.
Yeah, we can't actually get any of that stuff. Here's a packet of matches.
It's become a sort of standard. Find a strange bar, you'll almost certainly find some matches in it somewhere.
Let's take the matches. Great. I now need to take stock. I do not have everything I need yet for one of the puzzles. There is, however, something more over here that we can examine. It's a vampire!
Looks like a Bloody Mary to me, with the odd protozoan in it for flavour.
Take his drink.
Now I'll best leave it alone.
Can we mess with him in any way? How about stabbing him? sharpen the ladder into a stake and stab him with it.
Cutting that won't help me.
Okay. How about just stabbing the vampire with a knife?
That's not going to help.
No.
This is one character that should be put back in his coffin.
Put back in his coffin. Oh my god. I just stumbled upon the answer to the puzzle. And I'm not joking. I have been struggling to think of a way to explain how this puzzle works, and using a random ass item on him has given me the answer.
That's not going to help. This is one character that should be put back in his coffin.
Should be put back in his coffin. We need to work out a way to put the vampire back in his coffin. Okay. So let's
One vampire.
continue.
And a pathetic looking one at that. I suppose you might classify him not as undead, but more as anti-living. And look at his teeth. I bet they get the blood out of anything. Strange though, I wonder if they're real.
Not real teeth that can get the blood out of anything. One of the things we need is blood. Huh? Let's have a chat.
Oh, blood, blood, blood.
I'm sorry.
He said
Nothing.
blood.
Just trying to get into the role, that's all.
Well, hello there.
So, you're a vampire then?
Indeed. Child of darkness, hell brethren, that sort of thing. Well, it's a job. Someone's got to do it.
So what do you do? I mean, I've often wondered just how a vampire spends its time.
Well, I am the knight, you see.
No, not really.
Well, that is just my point. How is anybody supposed to be the knight? It's not much of a job description now, is it? It's not as if you're even asked. Just one night you're walking home and woof, you're a vampire.
Is it that bad though? I mean, think of all the advantages.
What advantages? You tell me.
Ooh, lower food bills, low-cost housing. And black goes with everything, of course.
It does.
Yeah, but it's this whole night thing that gets me. I never stayed out beyond 8 p.m. in the old days, and now look at me. It's like the black hole of Jelly Baby out there. I keep falling over. Being undead doesn't mean I've got eyes like a cat, you know. I mean, I wish I had, but I haven't. So if I want to do any really good stalking, I have to carry a lantern, which pretty much defeats the whole business. I look silly.
Well, is there some way other than just stalking?
Well, I tried advertising. Wanted. Victims to be drained of their lifeblood by a hungry vampire. Yeah, you'd be astonished at how little response there was.
Quite.
And when I thought about it, the whole business seemed wrong. So I decided to give the whole blood thing a miss and start sucking something else. So I started on strawberry jam.
Did it work?
Well, it tastes better, but now look what's happened. See? I rotted my teeth. Who ever heard of a vampire with false teeth?
I'd sympathise with you more if I didn't have this awful foreboding that I'm going to have to use you later on as part of some overcomplicated little scheme.
Yeah, we will. No beating around that bush.
You're not a vampire?
I am! Look! I've got the cloak! I've even got the frilly shirt. Think I'd be seen wearing this lot if I was alive? Look at this! That's for draining blood, that is. Yeah, terrified now, eh? Frozen by my powers. Hypnotized by the terror that strikes out of the night.
Gothic horror is dead at last. I wonder if anybody will miss it. So, this is it. You're just going to sit in here and avoid being a vampire at all? Haven't you got somewhere better to go than a seedy little bar?
Where should I go? Oh, you ought to see my home, my friend. A coffin at the graveyard. You call that comfort, 'cause I don't. I'll creep into the crypt at the dawn and not a moment before.
He'll creep into the crypt at dawn and not a moment before, and he lives in the coffin in the graveyard. We're starting to piece things together, right?
A toothless old vampire drinking a Bloody Mary without much Mary? Can life or undeath offer any deeper degradation than this? If it does, I'm sure we'll soon find out.
Alright.
Let's just stop all this now.
This is very rude. I love how Rincewind turned around to talk to us there when he was sat on the stool. Alright, we can actually make a bit more progress here. Firstly, to the docks. Because I now have a knife, and with said knife, I can cut the net. Fantastic. All the fish have undeadly run away, and we have a hammerhead shark.
A hammer-headed shark. They're called hammerhead. Nah.
We've heard this one. Let's have that. Great. Nope, not Rincewind. We now have a
A
hammerhead shark.
hammer-headed shark. Actually, if you were intent on being a terror of the deeps, wouldn't you consult with a cosmetic surgeon first? It feels all wet and fishy. A stuffed pink flamingo. Actually, they say since I think
We've heard this. Sorry, I misclicked. Anyway, we need to use this stuffed fish to lure the bird out by throwing it at the bird. As we already know, the fish is stuffed and hard, and the water is not deep. So we now have a stunned bird.
I've heard of stunned mullets, but never a stunned mallet.
Stunned mallet? Big old hint as to what we need to do with that. Yes, if you haven't put this together, we have 3 things. A flamingo, a shark, and a wading bird that can be used to do the old switcheroo to get our sticks from the garden.
One slightly stunned wading bird. Not surprising the way it dived onto the River Ankh. Nice soft down. Better than what's in my mattress, whatever that might be.
Alright, that's literally all we needed to come here for.
Ah, Jim lad. Just the thing for hanging something on.
For hanging something on there? I just wanted to hear him say "our gym lad" again. 'Cause funny. Alright, let's head over to the garden. Because there's numerous things we can do here now. Firstly, the Burso wanted a new mallet, and it wanted something big and hefty. That's the shark. But there's reasons to use the wrong things on him too.
Nah, I think that a wading bird would definitely go better with the librarian.
Okay. How about a flamingo?
Come to think of it, the Dean's more your stuffed flamingo sort of guy.
Alright, now we know what to use stuff on. So, the shark on the Bursa. Yoink! 1 mallet. Flamingo. Got a flamingo for the Dean. This is us collecting sticks. Do you remember we do need sticks, and now these guys are using birds to play croquet, and it's quite funny to look at. Anyway, librarian. Incredible, we now have 3 sticks.
Quest completed. 3 identical sticks. Now, perhaps
we're
you'd like me
cooking.
to learn to juggle.
Alright, we got glitter dust and mallets. That's it. We did just learn about the old vampire, and how would you make a vampire think it is dawn to get him into his coffin? Well, a rooster would help with that, and we can't catch it by hand, but we could catch it if we used corn on it. Just give it some bait. Sneaky, sneaky. Softly, softly, catchy rooster. Except Rincewind is a bit
Damn, nearly had the little blighter.
Crap.
If only I could make him less sure of himself.
less sure of himself. Less sure of himself. What if we made him drunk? How about a drunk rooster? Let's use the tankard on... First of all, how about the genie bottle?
Soaking that in alcohol won't help in any way.
See, using items on random other items will give you hints as to what they're useful for.
Alcohol-soaked corn. This should give something a decent hangover.
A decent hangover.
Corn soaked in alcohol. The cereal that goes snap, crackle and hiccup. I prefer my corn straight.
Straight corn, okay. Let's try this one then. Ooh. Gotcha, bugger. Alright, we now have a rooster that looks, well, slightly worse for wear. Poor guy, look at him.
One rooster, totally plastered.
If we double click on him, that clearly is not going to fool a vampire. However, there is something else we're here for. This magnet that we picked up a long ass time ago in the high energy facility, we can use that on this imp's boots. We need them. We need some stinky stuff. Yoink. And the imp's gone. We now have some horribly stinky boots.
Boots taken from an imp. Look. Observe, but pray do not smell. Too small for me, I'm afraid.
Can't wear those. Alright. Thinking about it, we still need one more thing before I come back here. So, we've made some progress. We've got some of an idea of how to get some blood from a mouse through a vampire. We've got two of the items that we actually need. Where was I going? Oh yes, the shades, of course. Let's go into the middle of the shades. Come here and be presented with some characters. This is Foul All Ron. Is Vile Smell a poster?
Do you suppose any of this stuff is a use, or is it just background colour?
It is actually just background colour.
Stop trying to play with the background colour.
I'm sorry, Rincewind. I need to. There's a pot here.
An old clay pot. I wonder what that was used for.
I don't know, but it's mine now. One pot.
A handmade clay pot, currently empty, with a maker's mark lovingly inscribed in teeth marks along the rim. Nothing in there, it's empty.
Alright, here we have a saw, which sometimes disappears, so I'm going to take it now.
A saw! At last I have seen a saw!
It's mine. We need that for Act 2.
Oh no, not that old saw. Ouch, those teeth are sharp.
Alright, now here's the Duckman, Henry Coffin, and this guy. There's also a can, which I'm going to examine.
Pot. Well, I say coffee, if you could call it that. Whatever it is, if you drink it, you'll at least be dead, if not dead sober.
Dead or dead sober?
You have to be kidding. Any more sober and we bring down the rating of this game.
Alright. Funnily enough, we do actually need to sober something up, but we'll save that for just a minute. Here's the Duckman. These characters are odd, to say the least. The Duckman has a duck on his head, who is kind of taking the piss. Let's chat to the Duckman.
Spare a gold piece, sir. Spare a gold piece.
A gold piece?
A whole gold piece? Most people don't earn that in a month.
Well, the streets are swarming with beggars, sir. So I just thought I'd establish myself in a different niche market. You know, beggar to the upper gentry.
Oh, really?
So, as I say, sir, any gold pieces to spare? Perhaps raw bullion? Shares? Futures? That sort of thing?
Oh, stop it. And go and do something about that duck.
What duck?
Yeah, oddly, this guy doesn't know that he's got a duck on his head. Kind of Ratatouille-ish. Maybe I've not seen the film. So, well, I could be completely miles off with that guess, that little comparison. But yeah, he's got a duck on his head. He doesn't know it's there.
You wouldn't say there's anything in the slightest bit unusual in your appearance at all?
No? Why?
Nothing that, say, when viewed in a mirror, might give you pause for thought?
What's a mirror, sir?
Ah, we may in fact have reached the root of the problem. However, it's a silly problem, and so I'm suddenly going to stop talking to you.
What's in the can?
What's in the pot?
Coffee Olay.
Olay?
No, Olay. We stole it from a bullfighter. Got to stay sharp, sir. Otherwise the bull might get in an illegal punch.
Fresh coffee. Can I try some?
No.
Oh.
Nah, don't think I really want to handle this one. Correspondence would be welcomed.
Some characters in this game you just don't ever need to talk to. This guy basically just told us that there's coffee in the pot. That's it. That's all he's there for. But notice that that's the only dialogue we have with him. If I right-click on him, though...
The Duck Man, I presume. I just don't know how anybody can live with a duck on their head and not know it.
We should get
Spare
an extra piece of dialogue here. The Duckman dialogue. The duck.
Look, about this...
What, sir?
Well, it's just... Do you feel any, poultry-ish presence in your life?
No? Not that I can say I've noticed.
So you wouldn't say, for instance, that you have an unusual choice in hats?
Hats? I don't wear a hat.
Or pets, perhaps?
No, sir. Never keep any pets. They say an owner always ends up looking like their pet. And who'd want to go around in life looking like something silly?
Oh, yes, I see your point. Oh, yes.
Yeah, who'd want to look silly, huh? So yeah, he serves basically no purpose. Similarly, Henry Coffin doesn't really serve any purpose either, but we'll talk to him for the sake of completeness.
Henry Coffin, famous beggar and the man of 1,000 nasty coughs and spits. He can hit a spittoon at 20 paces, and I wish he'd try to.
Yeah, that's the guy making the horrible noises you've been hearing this whole time.
Spare a gold piece, sir.
Yeah.
Spare a gold piece.
Here, spare a groat for a... Spare a... Here, dame. Forgotten what I was asking now.
Jeez, he's really struggling.
Oh, please, just go away.
Here, give me some money, mate. Just give... Sorry, sir. I didn't... I didn't realise you were so close. He'll probably wash off.
If, dear viewer, you have a desire to skip this entire conversation, I don't blame you. However, I'm going to have to sit through it all.
Now, look.
Oh, God.
Never mind.
Never mind indeed. We can't even be sarcastic to the guy because he's so disgusting.
Do you serve any useful purpose at all?
No, he doesn't.
Yes, mate. I'm a social figure, I am. I get non-invited to all the best functions in the city. I do.
What do you mean, non-invited?
Oh, you know, they sends me the address, and they pays me money not to turn
jeez.
up. I can't understand why myself.
I promise this is not me.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, go. No, don't rub it off. It only works it deeper into the cloth.
Whew, I am struggling with this guy. You know that Japanese guy in real life that gets paid to just hang out and do nothing with you? This guy, similar concept I guess, gets paid to not do nothing with you, in a sense.
I'd probably have more to say, but I'm afraid I keep being distracted by this bloody dreadful smell.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Excuse me, I think it's probably time for me to take my medicine.
Not sure if we've heard that one yet. Right, foul old Ron and his vile smell.
A vile smell? An ambulatory vile smell? Yes, well, that's brought some life into my day.
That is something that we need. Let's take it.
Even though his odour seems solid enough, I doubt that I could catch it with my hands.
Well, it's not going to be so simple, is it? Is foul old Ron eating boots? Yes, he is.
So this is the infamous foul old Ron. You know, there are some personalities so stunningly horrid, so utterly breathtakingly awful, that they actually transcend the mere physical frame of their owners and stand out as an icon, a banner of meaning with a life all of their own. Then again, there's also hundreds of grubby old street people like this bloke who just make me want to scratch.
Yeah, foul old Ron, I think, is a recognisable character in the whole Discworld series. Not for good reasons. But let's have a chat.
Oh, buggery. Oh, bugger 'em. Millennium hand and shrimp. The buns, all over.
Spare a gold
You
piece,
young
sir.
spiders.
Spare a gold
Spiders.
piece.
I told them, put that in your trumpet. Millennium hand and shrimp. Blow that for a game of trousers.
Blow
Was
that
there
for a game
something
of
you
trousers.
wanted?
You can tell that this is going to be some kind of a struggle of a conversation, isn't it? First of all, let's just get this out of the way. Millennium hand and shrimp. He's going to say that a number of times. What the hell does... I mean, of course he's just talking gibberish. But why Millennium hand and shrimp? I read online somewhere that apparently the story goes that this guy is a badly translated Chinese menu that Terry Pratchett ran into at some point. You can just imagine picking up the menu in a Chinese and going, ah yes, this is Millennium hand and shrimp. What the hell is that actually supposed to be? Who knows? I don't even know if that's true, but it's a fun story, so I'll share it.
Look,
Talking. I'm good at that. Most of the time I talk to myself, because it's nice to hear an intelligent person speak. Millennium hand and shrimp. You can blow that out of your teapot and no mistake. I'm as sane as the next man. Listen,
I just hope I never meet the next man. But I probably will.
You probably will.
You a busy man, I can see that.
Right, I've really got behind on me mumbling and shouting out loud quota today.
That's a mood.
I see the local care in the community scheme is hard at work.
Millennium hand and shrimp.
Of course, a really caring community would probably have moved him further downwind.
Millennium hand and shrimp. I wonder who's doing this voice. Because as I said right at the start of this game, I have no idea who a lot of these people are. Like, spare a gold piece, I have no idea. If that were Discworld 1, that would 100% be a Tony Robinson character, but it's not, and I don't know. I can't tell. So let's ask him about his stink. Imagine doing that. Things you can only say about games. Let's ask this man about his stink. Real life things, huh? You can't do that.
What's that cloud hanging over you?
Stench. That's my special smell, that is. Yeah, it's a first-class smell. It's got a life of its own, you know. Quite a little personality.
You're saying that your smell is so powerful it actually can be seen?
It likes the boots, you know.
It likes the boots.
Nothing it likes better than to settle down with a good old boot. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to continue with my job as resident crazy man in this marvellous street theatre that is Ankh-Morpork.
Foul Ron is not possibly as crazy as he seems. Like, he's a nutter, but he's kind of aware of it.
Those are boots you're cooking, aren't they?
Prime boots with stench attached. They smell like shoes, you know. Gotta have lots of boots to maintain a real fine stink, you know. Get off. There's plenty for everyone.
Alright, we already know what's in the can, but we can ask him anyway.
It's beans, roasted beans in water.
So
They
coffee,
say
then.
there's nothing like a nice cup of coffee to clear the mind. Mind you, I prefer mud. A good hot cup of mud sets you up for the day. A good meal of old boots and mud, and a man can laugh at the world. And I do.
Right,
Spare a gold
mud.
piece, sir. Spare a
Boots
gold
and
piece.
mud.
Spiders, mumble, sticking like sticky paper and lying. Millennium hand and shrimp, lying.
You know, some might say that this chap lacks a firm grasp upon reality.
Yeah, bugger 'em. bugger 'em all.
My personal theory is that he has a very firm grasp upon reality. It's simply not a reality the rest of us have ever met before.
Yes, goodbye.
See you later.
We actually have everything we need in order to get this vile smell off of foul old Ron. We already know that it likes boots, so let's try those. Oh, it comes over. It does indeed come over. But then it's not interested.
Well, at least I know he likes the smell of these boots. They'd make good bait.
So how in the world do we get him to get trapped somehow? Anybody thinking he looks a little bit like a genie? No, I wasn't really either, but hey.
There we go. A nice snug fit.
Put the boots in the genie bottle. We now have this.
A pair of Imp's boots inside the genie bottle. It's not quite as impressive as a little ship, is it?
No, not really.
Now that the boots are in there, I can't get them out.
Ah. So it sounds like a smell trap, perhaps. We got it.
I've just captured the smell. I wonder if I'll ever be able to shake it off.
Probably not, honestly. Is foul old Ron going to be happy with that?
Oh, buggery. Oh, bugger 'em. You, Millennium Hand and Shrimp. What's this?
Can we ask him about his stink?
What's that cloud hanging over?
Stank?
No, this is just the same dialogue as before. Alright, so. Oh yeah, we do need to sober up this rooster too, so let's use that on the old can. Just pour a ton of coffee down its neck. This poor rooster has been through the, he's had a rough night. But hey, that seemed to work. And now we've got a proper rooster.
One rooster, cold turkey sober.
Cold turkey, huh? Ah, yes.
A foul smell trapped in a genie bottle, guaranteed to not grant you any wishes. Phew. I'm not touching it.
I'm not touching it. Alright, so we've got glitter dust, we've got the mallets, we got the stink. What more do we need? We need dribbly candles, and we need mouse blood. Alright, there's one place we haven't explored fully yet.
That leads...
I actually missed a little thing here. Oh, I can't actually examine it. This says gimlets.
That leads to gimlets.
Alright, Gimlet's Cafe.
I wonder if this is that Cafe Olay everyone keeps going on about. Here, if you want to go hoisting this thing up, then you come in here and try it yourself.
I can't, Rincewind. I'm a 3D creature that exists outside of this game. This man can't be examined. These barrels can't be examined. This umbrella, nothing around here. There's a troll in the background. Can't examine the sign.
Ah! The latest trend, a sidewalk cafe with umbrellas. Next thing you know, the waiters will be wanting tips. I can sure give them a few.
Look at this little mouse over here. Wandering around, drawing attention to itself. Let's grab this umbrella.
I don't need an umbrella.
Just kidding. We can't.
Chili powder. Compliments to the high-energy magic facility. Just being in the same scene as it makes me sweat.
And now it's ours. We have some chili powder. Why in the world do we have chili powder?
Chili powder? I'd taste test this stuff, but the animation budget won't stretch to a proper demonstration of the results. So you're just going to have to take it on faith for this one, okay?
I guess so.
Just touching it makes me sweat.
Alright.
Gimlet. Here's a dwarf who knows the meaning of the word hygiene. He thinks it's a greeting. Still,
Hygiene.
At least his shirt front can act as a sort of menu.
Alright, let's have a chat to Gimlet then. This is a very long walk. Holy... Hello there.
Hey there, sir. Hey there. What can I cook for you? We got the
Sounds
meals for
like
one and all.
Casanova.
Fixed price menu and everything come with a pickle.
What's on the menu?
Oh, mice, sir. Mostly mice. Ethnic dwarf cuisine, sir. I got 'em baked, I got 'em glazed, I even got 'em on a stick.
Mice? You mean you're dishing out rodents?
Not just any old mice, sir. Big, fat ones. Prime squeakers, sir. Good pink noses, no finer in Ankh-Morpork.
What makes you say that?
Operation of the jaw. tongue and vocal cords,
not
sir.
literally.
And then the words just fly out. Oh, sorry, you meant the food. Very select rodents, sir. And hygienically prepared, sir.
Rodents hygienically prepared? How?
I always wash my hands after touching them, sir.
Fair enough. Can't say fairer than that.
Well, we know there's mice to be gathered here, so that's something.
A rodent bar. How lovely.
Prime eaten, sir. Vol au vents and ratatouille. Fresh caught at the table, sir.
And do you cook them?
Vol-au-vent.
Cook? And ruin the flavor?
Raw mice? Great, here comes one again.
This may sound a daft question, but don't you have anything that isn't rodents?
We do have rocks.
Rocks.
Yeah, granite, quartz, some prime cuts of obsidian, fresh today from the quarry for my troll customers. Even some candy rock for afters. I know it's not mice, but, well, he seemed wise to spread my clientele, sir. Go for the troll dollar, that sort of thing.
Trolling for more customers?
That's the one.
That is the one.
This may sound a daft question.
Sorry, I needed to check. I lose track of which ones I've clicked all the time.
Raw mice au naturel. Why is it I have such a sense of foreboding and dread?
Well, because, I don't want to explain yet. What's this rock candy?
Candy rock, that's right, sir. It's like a toffee for trolls. Well, very chewy toffee for trolls. It might have a bit too much mica in it. The only problem is that it can make the teeth fall out. Bad for them, you see, sir. But I tell a lie, because we're out of it at the moment. Someone ate all the wheels off the delivery vehicle. Happens about once a week, that does. Must be a la carte menu.
Oh, pain. Some of these puns are pain. Actually, I enjoy them. They're not painful at all for me, but I know you guys are going to be reeling from it.
Goodbye for now.
All that information about losing your teeth from... What's he doing to that? All information about losing your teeth to candy rock from trolls is important stuff to know for Act 2. Anyway, here is a table.
Either these are stains on the table or the food is flatter than is usually the case.
Let's have a sit at the table.
Aha, a menu. I wonder what they serve here.
Well, let's read it and find out.
Let's see what we have here. Rodent in a bun, rodent in a bag, live rodent en brochette, and stunned rodent cordon bleu prepared in a white wine sauce with shallots, truffles and small potatoes. Oh, damn, they only served that one on alternate Tuesdays.
Oh, damn, I was totally going to order that one. Alright, so while you're sitting at the table, you can actually call over Gimlet to make an order. It's just a series of events. You have to pick up the menu and do all that stuff and read it all, and there you go. Let's do that. Waiter! That is a strong beard, sir. Can we have rodent in a bun, please?
All right then. One extra rare mouse burger.
Right, sir. Hey, I think I can hear one of the little squeakers now.
Yoink. Straighten some bread. And there's your burger.
There you are, sir. Extra rare.
And that's it. We've got ourselves a mouse. How do we get the blood out of him? Mousy!
Mousy? I will hold him and cuddle him and name him George. Or something like that.
I really should know what that's referencing, but I don't. It should be super obvious, but I don't. I just don't have that knowledge in my head.
Ouch! Hey, you bit me. Well, it's supposed to be the other way round.
The other way around? What's that mean? Let's stab him.
Cutting that won't help me.
Well, it would, because you get the blood out of him. Yeah. Okay, well, we could try and ask the vampire to get the blood out of it. Failing that, we could put the vampire back at home. Either way, we're mostly done with the shades now. And thankfully away from all these horrible noises. By the way, when the screen's moving around and when luggage is moving around, really difficult to actually click on them without moving Rincewind all over the place. So hey, Mr. Vampire, would you kindly bite this mouse and extract his blood for me?
That's not going to help. This is one character that should be put back in his coffin.
The answer is no. However, we can get this man back into his coffin by cheating him with a rooster. one freshly sobered rooster, which we're just going to choke the chicken back here. What the hell did I just say? Of course you would, wouldn't you? If you were a vampire and you thought it was done, you'd be racing back home. Or hiding somewhere, I suppose. But there we go, he's in there. But more importantly, his teeth are in there. Yes, indeed. So, over to the cemetery. Just gonna chase some stuff up. Alright, and we already have a means to get up there too. Not Rincewind. With this ladder against the slab. Dunk! We can climb up to the coffin and get this scene.
A pinewood coffin. Actually, it's a little cosier inside than is strictly necessary. As tempting as it is to curl up in a coffin and see out this game, one just must continue.
Well, okay.
A drinking glass. Now, why would anybody have a glass beside their coffin?
For the old trope of putting your teeth in the glass thing, right?
False teeth. Ugh, those things still have strawberry stains. I have this strange feeling that I should leave it here. It could be an important plot element.
A plot element? Oh right, because you can actually get up here without the vampire being here first, and then you just see a glass and it's just empty. Anyway, he needs it there so he can put his teeth in, which we're going to steal. Great. We now have some teeth. Which chop?
All the better to bite you with. Ouch, they're sharp.
Careful, they are vampire teeth, Rincewind. So, use my mousey. He puts them in first. He actually... I actually feel bad for poor Mousy. Oh, not quite Mousy anymore.
A set of vampire false teeth recently used by the look of it. Feels more like blood than ketchup.
Yeah, if we put that in the test tube, we now have...
a test tube containing 4 cc's of mouse blood.
Incredible.
I'm not touching that, you never know where it's been.
Well, it's been inside of a mouse, obviously. And there he is, our mouse. Looking quite spooky and vampiric.
An undead mouse. No way, he might bite me and turn me into a vampire.
Didn't we just... That's kind of mean, Rincewind. Not gonna lie. Let's leave. Let's get out of here. We've got most of the things for the Rite of Ashkente. Just to really check. We have the mouse blood, we have the glitter dust, we have the smell, we have the sticks, we just need the candles. And we've got, I believe, everything we need to get said candles. The Unseen University. Hey look, it's those bats that I was talking about a while ago that developed their own language and then gave up on it. These guys are still happily playing croquet with their fish and other creatures. Alright. The beekeeper puzzle. This is one of those puzzles that's a little involved. And you don't really know what the hell you're doing. So, he did say earlier on that we needed smoke and protection and some way to extract the beeswax and all of that stuff. Okay. Good to know. But what constitutes protection? How about this petticoat? Let's use it on the beekeeper. You know what? That's the right answer. Let's use the scissors on the beekeeper.
I'm afraid I can't cut that.
Useless. Let's use the petticoat on the beekeeper.
How's this?
Oh yes, that will make fine head protection.
That's step 1 sorted. Now, how about if we use the matches?
Matches? Normally I'm not allowed to play with these, but today we'll make an exception.
Ooh, joy.
Strike a light. I'd only set fire to the inventory window.
Well, maybe try not to do that because we do need to use it, Rincewind. On the incense, now we have burning incense that's somehow copied from the actual incense.
New improved burning incense. Toasted frog scented. I'd only put it out.
So pessimistic. Anyway, this incense.
What about this for smoke?
Yes, that will make fine smoke.
Okay, but now we need to get rid of the beekeeper. And he sounded really, really keen on making his own clicky about bees. Or at least spreading the knowledge. And what better way than with modern movies?
Look, here's something that may interest you. You seem to know all about bees. Why don't you make a clicky about them? You could then pass on all your knowledge, so to speak.
You don't say. You know, you may just have something there. It's time the world knew the facts about bees.
And off he goes. Gone. That character is now just exited from the game. I don't know where he is. I don't think he actually exists anymore. I think he's just gone. So if you didn't use the petticoat and the incense on him to get confirmation that they are useful, then you're screwed. Or you just have to work it out. So at this point I'm actually going to do things wrong. Just for the sake of it, because we can. So if I use the petticoat on Rincewind, it'll get into place. If I then use the smoke on the bees to calm them down, and then use the hives and scoop out some beeswax. And then we can use the pot, also on the hives, to get some honey. Now we don't need the honey until Act 2, but you know, if you don't use it now, then you've got to mess about with it later. So now we've got beeswax and honey.
Finest beeswax. Well, maybe not finest. It's usable beeswax anyway. Strange texture. Very malleable. A clay pot, full to the brim with delicious honey. Ooh, all sticky and yummy.
Indeed. Right, now off we go. We're going to leave. We're going to take the beeswax to the lady at the shop. Because she can make some candles for us. Hopefully some dribbly candles with said beeswax. I may have just given the game away. Beeswax on the old one.
Well, here we are. Fresh beeswax. Could you please make me some candles now?
Certainly, dear.
Simple as that. There we go. Light the candle.
There
Make
we
sure it's
are.
going.
Candles, Your Highness.
Oh. Well, they're very neat. Can't you make them more, well, more dribbly?
Oh, so it's for sinister arcane magics then. Foul, mind-twisting blasphemies from beyond the outermost edge of nightmare?
Oh, it's not that bad. Well, yes. A bit.
Oh, well, you should have said, dear. No, beeswax isn't suitable for those. You're either going to have to go out there and hunt down a whale and
Spermaceti.
do whatever you have to do.
That is not happening, by the way.
Or
what?
You could get the bees to make the special pour dribbly wax by making them sweat. You've got to encourage the bees to drink a lot. Are you making a note of this?
There you go. You got to make them sweat. And we've just lost a bunch of items there. Well, not really. We still have the incense and the matches, and we can go back there, but I'm simply just going to reload where we were. So that's how you find out about making the bees sweat. But how do we make them sweat? Well, we found chili. What if we rub the chili into the source of the bees' pollen? That is the most horrific thing you could probably do to bees in this game, but, well, you'll see what happens. Just give it some time. The animation will play. Just gotta be patient. Away they go. Busy bees collecting pollen back to the hives, and something ain't right. Feels bad. You gotta feel bad for them. So yeah, you don't have to get things wrong.
How sweet. Lovely little flowers.
call me sir.
You don't have to get things wrong in order to get things right at the second time. If you got foreknowledge of some stuff like this, you can just go ahead and do it. So this is a loaded save where I didn't make the candles wrong. So here we are, making the candles right the first time instead. The pot. And scooping out the hives with bare hands in order to get dribbly beeswax.
Ah, dribbly beeswax. Makes up in free spirit for what it lacks in stability. Similar texture to the real thing, just runnier.
Simple as that. And away we go. Alright, now let's take that to the shop, which moves all the downtime, so I don't know where it is sometimes. And let's give her some dribbly beeswax.
Here's some nice sweaty and dribbly beeswax. Could you make me some candles, please?
Certainly, my dear.
Lighting it this time gives a slightly different result. Dribbly, authentic.
There we are, dribbly candles. Just suitable for consorting with loathsome horrors from beyond the shrieking nightmares of mortal man. Here, what you planning, Your Highness? You're not trying to put one across on your husband or something, I hope.
Look, I keep telling you I am not a princess. And I am not engaged in summoning evil entities from beyond. We got plenty of demons running around the university in any case. Mostly they study law.
Law? Why law?
It's the wizard's fault, really. Everyone keeps saying that they want a demon to do their will. Too much setup and not enough joke there, I feel.
Yeah,
Excuse me, I think I have to
agree.
leave.
Kind of agree there, Rincewind. Also, interesting that they say demons do law, where in more traditional D&D circumstances, which is sort of what this shop is based on a little bit, they are typically agents of chaos and not law, whereas the devils, who knows, maybe that distinction wasn't even a thing in the 90s. Anyway, we're out of here. Back to the Unseen University, back to the dining hall. And we have a whole bunch of items to give to the Arch-Chancellor. We are actually done with Act 1 at this point. So let's start handing stuff over. The glitter dust.
Here we are then. Glitter dust for your perusal.
Ah, right you are, my boy. Excellent. We'll make a junior apprentice wizard out of you yet.
But I'm already an assistant wizard, 3rd class.
The day is still young.
We just did something right and he's still insulting us. I just want to make sure that I absolutely did save this game, by the way, because I need this save for later. Alright, dribbly candles.
Here we are, genuine dribbly candles. And it wasn't only the bees that sweated getting these.
Not strictly necessary, but I suppose they'll look nice.
You know, I just feel insulted at every single thing he gets. You know? How about a vile smell?
Here you are, one vile stench.
Don't open it right
What's
now.
this then? Looks more like a genie in a bottle.
You'll get a lot more than you wish for if you open it.
Alright, 3 sticks.
Look at this. Sticks, 3 thereof, all exactly alike. Precisely as specified.
Oh, very good. What did you do then? Just go and get some sticks from the garden?
Sort
Well,
of,
I
yes.
never.
Well, obviously you did.
Yeah, I obviously did. One more save, because I'm saving myself some time instead, and we have to hand over the test tube. The final item at the end of Act 1. So, enjoy this cutscene.
There you go. Bet you thought a mouse didn't hold that much blood.
How exactly... No, never mind. Some things are best left unknown.
Right. Well, that's it then. That's 3 sticks of wood, 4 cc's of mouse blood, glitter, stench, and dribbly candles.
Really? What for?
For the rite of Ash Kent. You said we needed it. I spent ages getting the right stuff.
Oh, I don't think so. For that one, you need to open the book, light the bell, and ring the candle. Or was it light the book, open the bell, and ring the candle? Something like that.
I don't
Is off
actually
you
know what
go.
that
We need a
reference
candle, a
if
book,
anything.
and a bell.
You're not serious, are you?
Of course not. I just love watching the pathos crossing your helpless little face. Come on, let's get these sticks and dribbly candles and do this Ashk-Ent thing, shall we?
Surprisingly not very impressive looking, is it? I don't know why he needs to bang Rincewind over the head or drink the mouse's blood.
Come, Mr. Tallyman, come tally me banana. Daylight come and I wanna go home. We're gonna summon death here, then have jelly for our afters. Daylight come and I wanna go home. Knee bone, leg bone, head bone, hop. Daylight come and I wanna go home.
Oh, good grief.
Didn't quite come out as planned, did it?
Who started us off on this?
Look, I worked long and hard to get this stuff. Can we at least treat this ceremony with a little bit of... Damn it, I've
Decorum?
lost my train of thought now. What's that word I was looking for? The one used for describing distinction. Differentiation of treatment.
This is that joke from the
No, it's not going to be
start of the
repression,
game
is
again.
it? We can't treat a ceremony with a sense of repression.
Dictatorship of the proletariat?
What?
The dictatorship of the proletariat. That results as an inevitable reaction against repression. Look, I think this would work better if everyone just got back on track. It's time we acted with a little bit of class.
Class, that was it. The word was class.
What word?
I don't know, but I'm sure it was important.
What was?
Ooh, was that? He speaks in all caps.
How long have you been here, then?
Since the banana. Will this take long? I'm on holiday. It's good here. Sun, sheep, sand, hats with corks. No worries. I'm supposed to have a chunder in a minute.
A chanda? What's a chanda?
You know, I'm not sure, but it sounds interesting.
Now look here, you. This city is in chaos. I mean, how dare you go swanning off to foreign lands while we're up to our armpits in undead? Now you get right back here and get back to work.
Work? I don't remember any work. All I remember is a great big bang. Then an eternity of beer. And no worries, mate.
Lucky blighter.
Now I've had about enough of this. You get off that thingamy, get those corks out of your hat, and... What? Now, just you come back here. I have a plan.
Oh, no.
Rincewind, lad! How wonderful to see you looking so well, so very sprightly, so very, shall we say, so very mobile.
You want me to go find out where death has gone?
Oh, only if you don't want to spend the rest of your life staring out across a pond at all the other toads.
Frogs?
If you prefer.
If we had a proper union like the alchemists do, I'd have a few harsh words for you.
Like dictatorship of the,
Oh, shut up.
Act 2. Come die with me.
And we'll be doing Act 2 next time. I do hope you've deeply enjoyed Act 1. Act 1 is fairly long because you have to introduce a ton of stuff, a ton of characters. Some of them aren't even useful to talk to, like Foul Ron. Well, he is. His mates aren't. Although Duckman, you know what, that's a whole conversation we could be having. Look, I hope that you've enjoyed Act 1. There are still more acts to go, so do join me next time. I've been MagicalMike, thank you very much for watching, and do check out the playlist if you want to continue watching. See you next time.